Howdy, partners, and welcome to day 2 of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Wild West event. It's time to saddle up for the big show. Ready to giddy up and get the show started is our host, Cara Delane.
Howdy, partners, and welcome to day 2 of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Wild West event. I'm your co-host, Cara Delane. Folks from far and wide are tuning in to the best event in all of the Wild West. We hope you brought your lassos because we're reining in the Fixed Ops Roundtable's 19th event. Yeehaw! Join the rodeo by using the chat feature on the right side of your screen. Just make sure to select everyone and not just host and panelist. Showing us how we can improve our speed to sale is Dennis McGinn of Rapid Recon.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Dennis McGinn is the founder and CEO of Rapid Recon, the preeminent name in recon in the retail automotive business. He's a great fixture of the retail community. We're honored to have him. Dennis, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. I love being here, love being asked, and love talking about the business and all the things we can do to kind of do our part. So thank you for inviting me.
Well, congratulations to you. I see Rapid Recon everywhere. You've had some amazing panels over the last year at the Roundtable. I've met a lot of your associates. I'm very impressed by your A-team that you send in. Also, we've had the women of Rapid Recon on here as well, and they're equally impressive. So congratulations to you, Dennis, on all the success you're having. I know success doesn't happen overnight, and you've put a lot of work into this to bring us to this level.
It's not really a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. I mean, from my standpoint, to me, we have been very organic. So a lot of those people who have been on your show came because they heard about us or knew somebody. We didn't go out and find them. They found us, and they love what they do. And I will tell you, this is a management by initiative company, and they've got permission to get out there and stir the pot. And that's a lot of fun for me. I mean, I have to say that most of the things that really happen are not really directly due to me. I mean, I know how to wave my hands, and I started this idea and got the ball rolling. But I'll tell you, it's a terrific team. A lot of people say that, but I can tell you that the people on my bench are all smarter than I am, and thank goodness.
I am so impressed by a lot of the retail people who've been on the roundtable and talking about your company and how they have managed to get the days to get the vehicle ready, frontline ready, I think is the term they use. And every time we have a roundtable, Dennis, those days are going down lower and lower and lower. And you know what? Probably no better time than now to be focused on that and looking at with a lot of the changes that have been occurring in the market for dealers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the transition back to normality, i.e. margin compression and, having to actually work to close deals and sell things, it's really setting in. And that amount of time to get that car ready, it drives everything now. I mean, whether you're talking about turns or, the velocity term, anything like that, profit per car, gross per car, it's all driven by time to line now, that window, and how quickly when you determine you're going to have that car on your books, how quickly you can get it out there so somebody that's looking can kind of get their hands on it. So that's the deal. That's what we do.
I credit you, not quite a year ago, maybe 10, 11 months ago, you started talking about this term transparency. And
Yep.
we had not heard that, or not very much of it, on the service side, let alone on the reconditioning side. We've heard about it in the variable side on the finance F&I department, how transparency was coming and how it had arrived. And now we started hearing it here. And Dennis, I credit you because you called that to our attention early. And it's amazing how that has just taken off, that term. Consumers are focused on transparency. You're doing a lot of things at Rapid Recon for your dealers that help them focus on the importance of transparency, not just in one area, but in many aspects. So I wanted to ask you about that today and what some of your thoughts were on transparency and where we're headed.
Well, I think it's a natural evolution of measure and manage. My HP, my background in technology, all that was, started out, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, et cetera, and evolved from that. But because of what's happened in the industry now with the buyers, and the buyers are used to making their own decisions, not being told the answers. They're all on Amazon. They want to make their own decisions. They also know they're paying premiums for cars, used cars these days, so they're going to keep it longer. And so they want to know as much about it as they can. This isn't, they want to do the homework. They want to figure out if they're going to spend 10 grand or 100 grand, exactly what's been done to this asset that now is going to become theirs, that they're going to live with this thing for a while, or their family is. And so I think it's a lot that transparency thing now has gone from just the idea of knowing how long it's taking you and having your whole team on the same measure and manage. In other words, we're all looking at the same number. And so we all feel good about being accountable. Now it's come to the consumer. The consumer says, oh, okay, well, yeah, okay, I can look up at the Carfax. I can see whether there was an issue. But now I want to know the Recon facts. I want to know exactly why these things were done. and I don't want any surprises. So I think transparency it's a whole picture now, and in general, the buyers are getting smarter. They want to have access to that information.
And I think the dealers in turn are getting smarter as well. We're learning a whole lot about the consumer. And you're right. A while back, it used to be acceptable when a car, let's say, went into the service department, that we didn't get an update or didn't know what was happening with the car, for quite some time. Now the consumer says, I want to know what's happening. I want to know an update. I want to be conveniently reminded on the status of my vehicle, even if there is, not much of a status to update. But the consumer now, Dennis, expects it. And it is the new bar, this new expectation. You recently, Rapid Recon, I'm going back maybe a couple of weeks, but not too far. There was a study done, and I want to talk a little bit about that when consumers realized, that you would be able to provide them with things such as recall information on that vehicle, it increased the trust factor in the vehicle and in the dealership. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that's all related back to transparency.
Yeah, I mean, we realized this a while ago, but and so we engaged with a company in Oregon that I thought does a superior job of making sure every recall is completely checked out, that there's no mistakes. And so we've been with them, probably 8 years now, and no glitches. I mean, they're just really good at what they do. So I looked at this back then as just one more thing that needs to be done correctly to make sure that car is really ready to sell. Again, no surprises. And if there's still an open recall, you have to take care of it, or you have to be able to disclose it. And recalls are a big deal. And the safety recalls especially, but any kind of recall. I want to know this car has they're all taken care of. And so it's one more thing in our bag that we feel responsible for making sure is completely exposed and it's done. Or if it's not done, there's a reason it's not done, but the customer knows. He has that information. There are no surprises. And there's no reason for any of that to be a surprise today. So that's important, that we get, just like everything else that's done to recondition a car, the recall resolutions are all part of it.
I recently had a dealer on the Roundtable who's got several rooftops and retails approximately 300 used vehicles a month. Okay. And told me about the importance of their reconditioning process. And he said, Ted, you know what? In having 300 vehicles, that we've got a lot tied up in those vehicles, that if we're not on top of every little thing on reconditioning, and they're using your tool, Dennis McGinn at Rapid Recon, he said, if we're not on top, something could slip through the cracks. And you said, you know what? We're human beings. We've got a lot of moving parts, a lot of people. That's easy to happen. But Rapid Recon helps us in doing that and being aware. And with market values changing as dramatically as they have in recent months, he says, we can't afford not to have this. So, Dennis, you are creating and have created maybe the gold standard, in Recon at Rapid Recon. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that. It all started back 13 years ago when a general manager at a Lexus store that I had known for a while grabbed me by the neck and said, hey, this is a problem. Nobody really knows how long it's taken. Oh, he said, I go out and back and look at how much dust is on these cars. And that's kind of my gauge. How long has these things been waiting? And so that's what got me interested. And then I started to look into it. And sure enough, everybody was just working around the problem and kidding themselves. And the status quo, the first thing we had to solve was a way for the technicians to be able to manage their own accountability. because before that, it was a finger pointing game. Okay. Everybody, and so nobody wanted a finger pointed at them. So they'd always come up with a number that was best case. So everybody thought they were happy, but the actual metrics were terrible. So that's been the fun part, is attacking something that is a big problem in the industry and costs everybody more money, all the way up and down the line, for the consumer, all the way up through the whole thing. So just, take the waste out.
Well, Dennis, and you've made it, go back to that word again, transparent on the dealer's side, because now you've got all the key players. You mentioned technician, used car reconditioning manager, general manager. They're aware through your software where they stand and what needs to be approved, what parts they might be waiting on, and what they need to do to get that vehicle frontline ready. So you've provided that extra layer of transparency that they haven't had in the past, and now gives them insights into those valuable assets that they've got, called the pre-owned, the used car department.
Yeah, I had a chance in college. I rode crew in Los Angeles for a half a year, and I was in the best shape ever of my whole life. You know what a crew, you got 8 people hitting the oar at the same time, and I like to kind of draw that analogy here, because what happens when you all get on the right beat? The boat just leaps. It basically just takes a jump, and that's what happens when you get the measure and manage together. When you get your time to line and everybody's working on the same number, all of a sudden you see this acceleration. People aren't making it up, are faking it till they make it. They're actually there. It's their number. They own it, and everybody around them it's their number too. And all of a sudden, this whole thing takes a lot of the angst out of the whole system. But the best part is, it really is that it keeps your costs down and allows you a lot more flexibility in terms of what you're charging for the cars. So it's a profit maker, and it is a teamwork accelerator.
I love it. We're talking today to Dennis McGinn, who is the founder and CEO at Rapid Recon. Dennis, I gotta ask you one last question. For those, and there still are some dealers and managers out there who say, you know what, I can do it myself. My software is up here. I know where I stand on my inventory. What do we say to them? What do we say to get them in the game and, take advantage of the great tools and the technology that you've put together with so many dealers?
Yeah, I mean, they need to ask others out there that they know what they've done, because we have a lot of good people to talk to who've been through this whole cycle. And yeah, there are a lot of them that say, oh, well, I really can do without it. I can use a spreadsheet or whatever it is. Going back to the gut feel days. Well, they're just wasting time and money to think that that's the case. Some of them, it's a pride issue because they're supposed to know all the answers. And so they think, okay, we can do without this. But you're really doing a disservice, not only to yourself and your business, but to your people, the people you got working for you. So my advice to them is, open your eyes, ask to talk to some people that are doing this and are doing it well, have been through this thing, and learn from them. I mean, they don't have to believe me. And I've been through every corner of this thing. I've seen, some come, some go, some come back. I can tell you, but it all comes back to the general manager. This rests solely on the general manager's shoulders in terms of their leadership ability. So if they don't see this as an opportunity to improve their process and get more leadership, they're just not going to get to it. It becomes a bit of an ego. But I've seen so many of them transition across that point, and I have some of the best general managers of brands all across the country, and I can tell you, they didn't all start out thinking that we had the answer. They all started out thinking that they had the answer. But now they know that we've helped them with their answers. So that would be my advice is this is not a maybe. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you can't, there's so many things that go on in their operations to try and keep track of with either gut feel or a pencil or a spreadsheet. It makes no sense in this day and age to do any of that. And, that's it. I mean, what else can I say? That being said, a few of them will still, I might not be able to get through to them, but I know for a fact that what we do makes sense. And by the way, just a plug, we started at the bottom and worked up. I mean, the reason we're really good at this is because we went right to the guys at the bottom of the pile and made it work for them, who they were all skeptical in the beginning. So now we know everything that we do ties together. So when I say time to line, everybody's numbers are traceable, all back to the origin. So that general manager, when they're looking at those numbers, they know everybody's tied together. It isn't, nobody's making stuff up anymore. It's they're all doing they're doing it the right way.
Everybody, if you haven't already, learn more at rapidrecon.com. Dennis McGinn has assembled not only the best tools and technology, but he's got the people to help make it happen. People who have worked and lived this in retail, and they know the best practices, and you can't afford not to be without this reconditioning solution. So Dennis, congratulations to you and Rapid Recon on all the success. I look forward to a great 2023 ahead of us. And thank you, Dennis, for all that you and Rapid Recon do for our industry.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your contributions with the Fixed Ops Roundtable and all the people you bring together to help this industry see things and move it forward as well, Ted. So appreciate your time and the opportunity to be on your show.
Everybody, if you want the latest, rapidrecon.com, reach out to Dennis McGinn and his team at Rapid Recon. Dennis McGinn, everybody, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Everybody wants to be part of a bigger story. And to see something like this in such a big industry is a big accomplishment.
When I heard about Rapid Recon, I was like, man, that's ahead of its time. And now I feel like it's absolutely revolutionary. We are changing the automotive industry one dealership at a time.
Just about anybody can tell you that you are struggling or that you might have a bottleneck somewhere. But what do you do about that?
Rapid Recon is the one software that unifies all the departments. You're going to go from chaos to organization.
Reconditioning is all about making a vehicle ready for sale. The whole idea of Rapid Recon is to take 15 days average to get these cars ready to sell and take it down to 3 to 5.
You can see the bottlenecks that we can eliminate. As a dealer, to be able to log into a website or your app on the phone and know precisely where each car is from all your dealerships, that's invaluable.
We can give the decision makers information that they need to make the decision immediately.
It's live. You can log into Rapid Recon and see exactly where you are. What it means is making decisions based on true information. It makes all the difference in the world.
What gets measured gets better over time, and Rapid Recon does that for us. There's nothing like that in the market.
I oversee 19 of our stores. We're processing 2,500 cars a month. You need technology to make it more effective and overall more profitable.
Rapid Recon is more than software. What's unique about Rapid Recon is the people that come with it.
One of the reasons why we're so good at this is because a lot of us did come out of the car industry.
The software is amazing and it's a tool, but we're not software people. We're car people.
And we know the pains that dealers are going through, not because we've been taught it, but because we've lived it.
We get so much praise for our customer service and how well we take care of our customers, and it's because we genuinely care.
They're not going through an automated system. When they call, it's a live person right there. Rapid Recon is just not the name of the company. Rapid means we got to be fast and accurate.
If you want to be as efficient as you possibly can, if you want to be as profitable as you can, you absolutely should have Rapid Recon as your system.
We're a small company, but we're going to change the whole industry.
I'm really excited about how the company's growing. I see us in more dealerships worldwide.
In 5 years, you're going to see that Rapid Recon is a must for every dealership.
We're making a big difference. We're changing this industry in a way that it's needed to change for a long time.
Curious how to build a winning service and parts team? You're in luck. Up next, we've got Les Silver from Dynatron here to share his legendary expertise.
Well, there is no bigger name in fixed ops than the gentleman that we are about to hear from. He is a great friend of the fixed ops community and a legend in all he has done in our industry. Please welcome Les Silver, everybody, the executive chairman of Dynatron Software. Les, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ted, it's always good to be involved with your events. This one tied in with the NADA should be just a super duper event.
Les, I think so. As you and I have discussed, a lot of fixed ops folks do not get all the love in the dealership. And it is such a great thing that we can invite them here to this event, complimentary, and they get to hear from some of the biggest names in the industry. And Les, you always do not disappoint. So with that, I'm going to turn the show over to you and look forward to what you have.
Thanks so much, Ted. With the theme, being a sports-related theme, I thought I would work off that myself. And spend some time talking about how do you build a winning service and parts team utilizing sports as the analogy. So service and parts managers have a lot of responsibility in their dealerships, and their responsibility is to build a winning service and parts team. What lessons can we learn from building a winning sports team? March Madness is coming on, and all the country is enthralled with what's going on in the basketball. Lots of lessons can be learned from sports that can transfer into business. So let's look at what are the ingredients of having a winning sports team. First of all, recruit the right personnel, have the right people. Second of all, utilize the talent that you've got, both coaching and personnel, to develop the right playbook. Thirdly, you need to teach that playbook. Make sure that all of your staff are conversant with it and have the ability to be able to execute to the best of their skills. Fourth, coach the playbook. You've got pre and you've got during game activities going on. You need to be able to utilize your coaching staff, both as teachers prior to games as well as in-game coaching. Understand the key performance indicators that lead to winning. Stats, particularly in sports these days, are becoming more and more important. And then finally, repeat, rinse, repeat, do it again and again and again and again. So let's dig into a little bit of detail on each one of these things and see if we can provide some enlightening insight on how to build a winning team. First of all, on the personnel side, the foundation of any winning team are its people. You just can't get anything done without the personnel that have the capability to execute. They require a number of things. One is they require skill in the job function that they have. Second of all, the capacity or the capability to be able to learn is very important in your personnel. The attitude that they take to the job, and I call it the do what it takes attitude, the ability to be able to step up and understand the situation and step in where necessary to make sure that customers are satisfied and the work is being done properly. And finally, you need the willingness to be a team player. You're not there by yourself, you're part of a team, and to be part of a winning team, you have to have that skill set. Of these, if you look down the list, skill, capability to learn, do it with take attitude, and willingness to be a team player, many people concentrate on hiring people for their skill. I think that's actually the least important of the four. If you hire people for their skill, typically what you're getting are people that have done it for some time before. That can be a benefit, but it often comes with a price. And that price may be ingrained attitudes and habits that may be difficult to break. If you have the capacity or the capability to learn and the right attitude and the willingness to be a player, you will over time develop the skill necessary for the job. And I would put that to be the least important of the various skills. How does your recruiting process identify these intangibles? Well, very often you find personality testing as a capability or as a tool available in the industry. There are a number of players that provide customized testing for service-related jobs. Use it. You'll find that it is able to delve a little bit more into the personality and the makeup of the people and give you an opportunity to be hiring and recruiting the right people to build the winning team. The second is the playbook itself. In sports, every winning sports team spends a lot of time and effort and to create a well-developed and, very importantly, written playbook. They don't just talk about it and assume that people are going to remember. It's in writing, and it's there to be referred to on an ongoing basis. In your service and parts departments, that playbook consists of your processes. And there are numerous processes that your staff need to be executing in order to be a winning team. The processes need to be documented. They need to be written down in a step-by-step fashion so that you have the content of your plays in a written playbook. Now, one of the questions that gets asked, particularly in sports, is do you write the playbook with the skills of the players in mind, or do you recruit the players based on their ability to execute the plays in the playbook? And there's no pat answer to that. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. Depending on the team that you've got in place and their capability to adapt to the playbook that you want to develop, then it may be that you're going to accentuate the skills of those players. Otherwise, it may be that you write the playbook recognizing that you're going to have to go out and recruit a team that are willing and able to execute that playbook. The content of the playbook can and often should be modified on an ongoing basis to incorporate improvements. Those improvements could be in personnel, where you might have somebody new coming on that has a skill that allows you to run a different play, or other tools that you may bring into your arsenal. Today, so much new technology is being applied to the parts and service business that has to be reflected in the playbook. So you want to write your plays that assume the best use of people and appropriate applicable tools. Once you've developed the playbook, it's now a matter of teaching it. And how do you go about doing that? Well, one of my heroes is John Wooden. John was the legendary coach of the UCLA Bruins basketball team for many, many years, a legend in the industry. He developed a 4-step process for teaching: explanation, demonstration, imitation, and repetition. And that's what he utilized as his methodology. First of all, you explain the process. Second of all, you show it, because people learn not only by listening to something, i.e. the explanation, but by seeing it. Have them imitate the process, and then repeat. John Wooden would say the goal is to create habits that can be executed reflexively so that you don't even have to think about it. When you're in a situation that comes up, you know which play to execute, and you're able to do it without a whole lot of thought. Teaching generally is done outside of game conditions in something called practice. And in all sports, a tremendous amount of the week is spent in practice circumstances. And that's what allows skills to develop and for the playbook to be ingrained. How does that compare to your organization? How much time do you devote to practice in order to be able to build skills that allow for improved execution? If you're honest, you'll probably realize that not much. Very little time is devoted to practice compared to the amount of time that's devoted to game conditions. Coaching the playbook. In most sports, there's a significant investment in time and effort and expense associated with enhancing the performance of the team through the coaching task. And coaching has become way, way more specialized. If you look back 20, 30, 40 years, and you look at the number of coaches and what their job responsibilities are, the coach-to-player ratio has increased dramatically over time. Is that because people wanted to spend more money on coaches? Or is that because it was recognized that the more coaching and the more specialized and skilled the coaching is, the better the performance of the team is going to be? And that's an investment that is well worth its time, well worth its while. This involves real-time game management. You see the coach on the sidelines, very involved in the game. In many cases, sending in plays. It involves reviewing the game films after the fact, where you're able to look for positive and negative elements of the game and reinforce both the positive and the negative as you go along. It allows you to then update your playbook based on the integration of the experience that you had the last time you went around and make sure that it's as capable as possible to execute. And finally, one of the more difficult aspects of being a sports executive, either a coach or a general manager, is the need to recognize when you have to execute a trade. My philosophy is do all you can to bring along the skills of the players that you've got. But if you get to the point where you're still not getting the winning result that you're looking for, you can't hesitate too long to pull the trigger and make a trade. It can be painful, it can be difficult, but often it's necessary. Finally, the key performance indicators, the KPIs that lead to winning, need to be well understood. Back in 2003, some of you may have read a book called Moneyball. And Moneyball talked about a concept called sabermetrics. And those are concepts around utilizing data in a much more significant way as an assist to managing and developing winning teams. In the old days, it was the insight and the gut of scouts and coaches that drove performance. Today, no, today it's data. And since then, the use of data and data analytics as an enhancement tool for decision-making has become standard practice. All the teams utilize the sabermetrics in both recruiting and evaluating the staff, as well as, when do you go on fourth down for the yard? What are the data tell you? The chances are of that being the right winning play more often than not. Often all that is driven from data. The same thing applies in your operation. The use of data and data analytics in managing and operating offers performance enhancement opportunities that are very, very significant. Finally, the repeat part. Many of you have heard this or seen posters with this. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. This was a quote from Calvin Coolidge way back when, and one that I've certainly applied to my career as a key tenet: persistence and determination. I hope that's a useful review. I hope you've had the opportunity to digest some of that, and if you apply it, you have the opportunity to build a winning team. Ted, thank you for the opportunity.
Les, you never fail to amaze. You mentioned a few moments ago about the great John Wooden. And I recall the story, and I know you as well, that when he started out the season fresh with his athletes, the first fundamental he taught was how to tie their shoelaces. If you recall the story, because John Wooden believed that fundamentals were so important to what we do. And, when you mentioned the data analytics in our business, in service and parts, you have really championed those metrics and a new way to look. And you put a whole new light on those numbers, Les. So on behalf of the Fixed Ops community, thank you for all you are doing right now at Dynatron Software.
We always look forward to your, bringing the industry together for these roundtables. It's a unique capability, and we're glad to participate.
Everyone, if you want to reach out to Les Silver, his contact information is on the screen, and just a tremendous resource for the industry. And Les Silver at Dynatron Software, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Opportunities for revenue growth are out there, and they're closer than you think. The problem is most service departments lack the time, software, and data to see these opportunities. They're in the dark. That's where we come in. We help shed light on revenue growth opportunities hidden within your data. Dynatron gives you the tools, coaching, and knowledge to maximize your service department revenue. From optimizing labor rates on maintenance and repairs to helping with manufacturer warranty labor rate and parts markup, our training and software gets you the most from your data. We illuminate these revenue opportunities with 3 fundamental solutions powered by our ROI suite and expert coaching. Price Smart. Our Price Smart solution drives additional revenue through price optimization. Charging the perfect price for services maximizes revenue while maintaining retention. Pricing compliance. Holding service advisors and technicians accountable to avoid costly mistakes that can lead to significant ELR and retention erosion. And parts and labor warranty filing. Price optimization and compliance prior to filing maximizes the process, which leads to larger revenue opportunities. Where other companies just file, we maximize and file. Sell Smart. Our Sell Smart solution is a customized, dealer-specific, technology-enabled sales training program for your service advisors and management team. It focuses on improving each advisor's revenue-generating potential with continuous improvement. Small but consistent changes add up to big results. Market Smart. With Dynatron's Market Smart solution, we analyze your service department data to develop custom, multi-channel marketing campaigns that target existing and new customers. We guide additional traffic to your service drive, resulting in tangible ROI. Powering these solutions is our ROI suite and expert coaching. We take your repair order data, process it through our proprietary algorithms, curate new data, and combine to find new insights. Then, our expert coaches guide you through our proven turnkey process to discover new opportunities and deliver results, ultimately seeing a 5x to 15x ROI each year you partner with Dynatron. Managing your service department is hard enough. You don't need another vendor. You need a long-term partner. Don't stay in the dark. Accelerate your service department revenue today. Visit DynatronSoftware.com.
Get ready to turbocharge your service growth with Jim Roche from WarrCloud.
Jim Roche is the CEO and founder of WarrCloud, a big name in the automotive retail industry, an even bigger name here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Jim, welcome to the Wild West.
It's great to be riding with you, Ted. Great to see you again, and hope your 2023 is off to a great start.
It is so much happening, Jim. Happy New Year in our industry, and congratulations to you, because WarrCloud is really now hands down, the leader in all things, with a warranty on behalf of the dealer, and you're making great strides. And I see and hear your company name everywhere, Jim.
Thank you, Ted. It's we're one of those overnight successes. I say that tongue in cheek. But it's nice to know that our thought leadership and the technology approach that we've taken to warranty processing really seems to be resonating with the market. I've been first mover before, in past companies, and I got to admit it's a fun place to be while you're there.
And it's fast moving, and Jim, you've got it all to yourself. So with that, you're a big draw. A lot of people have come here today to see Jim Roche. So I'm going to turn it over to you and let you get things rolling. And I'll take my hat off too.
Well, I'll take my hat off to you, Ted. Thank you. You know what I thought we'd do, since this is the first Fixed Ops Roundtable of the new year, is kind of do a look back and then a look forward. So why don't we go with that? So let's start obviously with 2022, the year in review. We've all lived it, so I won't spend too much time there, but there's some new, I think, and interesting information about what's happened. First of all, we saw a new vehicle sales decline. The estimate for 2022 is coming in around 13.4 million units. Way down from 21, 20, and obviously the years before the pandemic, when we were in 17 million range. So that has a lot of ramifications for us that we'll talk about as we go forward. Other interesting things that happened, not surprising, used vehicle prices down about 3.3%, and I think that will continue. Used vehicle sales volume down slightly. F&I down, again, no surprise there, as interest rates go up, payments go up, harder to sell the add-ons with the higher payments. So a lot of interesting things happening on the variable side of the business. On the service side, the trend continues. Customer pay dollars were up because customers are keeping their vehicles longer. And, we still see some of that deferred maintenance and repair, which people are now coming out and getting completed. And of course, what happens on the one side, impacts the other. So warranty RO count was down. And that's primarily driven by the fact that we have fewer vehicles covered under OEM warranty. No shock there. We've sold, maybe 10 million fewer vehicles over the last couple of years than we had been. And that means that you're going to have millions fewer vehicles covered under warranty. What that also means, when warranty RO count is down, you're going to see a slight decrease in warranty dollars. So all interesting. Maybe more exciting now that we're here is let's talk about what's happening in 2023 overall, but with, of course, a really a deep focus on fixed ops and service. So we're predicting, and I want to say I think many people in the industry are predicting, that we'll see new vehicle sales increasing as we go forward. Not surprising, the chip shortage is going to work itself out, which means inventory is going to continue to come up. We saw it coming up in the last half of 2022. And, the laws of supply and demand, we're going to see more supply. And because we're going to see more supply, new vehicle sales will be up, but gross will be down. The old trend of margin compression is going to reassert itself. Other vehicle sales considerations, we think used vehicle prices will continue to slide for a variety of reasons. We also think that F&I will struggle, again, because of higher payments, but also the FTC regulatory environment is going to be tightening, and that will have some impacts. Interest rates will remain up, maybe go up, but on the good side, we see early signs that inflation is cooling. And what this all adds up to, Ted, is that the economic look is uncertain. Some people say mild recession, other people say soft landing. I say we don't know, but that probably means we've got to be conservative in our outlook. All of these things have an impact on service. So our service outlook for 2023 means that newer vehicle sales may cut into the count of customer pay eligible vehicles that are out there. You know, as people who are coming to the dealer buy into the new car, that car gets passed off to somebody else that is less likely a dealer intender. So there may be fewer CP sales opportunities. On the other side, and again, you know, rebalancing the scale out, increasing new vehicle sales means millions more warranty eligible vehicles on the road. So we see that that RO count for warranty trend reversing. We see a higher warranty RO count as we go through 2023. So, you know, that's great. Again, balancing the scales out a little bit. There's some opportunity there. Interesting things happening with warranty trends. We're forecasting that the average warranty RO size will continue to grow. Wow. This is not new. This trend started almost 10 years ago. Look at that run up.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just, you know, amazing. Over 80% growth in the last 9 years. And in just the last couple of years, over 21% growth, $344 average RO size to about $417 in 2022, right? That's driven by two things. One, dealers are getting better at asking for warranty rate reimbursement from the factory. And second, the cost of components is going up. You know, as we put more technology into the cars, that technology is expensive and it's breaking more. So the average warranty RO size will continue, and that's a good thing for us. We also see high EV costs, much higher warranty costs for EVs versus internal combustion engines. This slide from JD Power Division, we predict. Ted, look at that. Look at that analysis that they did.
Wow.
Warranty, I know. I mean, everybody sees this and goes, whoa, wait a minute, what? Average warranty cost for 12 months for EVs is about 300% higher than the warranty cost on an internal combustion engine, despite many fewer moving parts. But if you think about it a minute, not that surprising. The primary reason is because all of these models, and in some cases platforms, are just coming to market. Whenever you bring a new vehicle to market, there's quality problems. And in this case, the components, because they're all technology, much higher. So higher EV costs. So as we sell more electric vehicles, warranty is going to go up, which means more warranty revenue for the dealer. Excellent. So you take all of this combined, and it's not much of a bold prediction.
Yeah.
Warranty dollars will grow, and what WarrCloud is forecasting, starting 2023, running through at least 25, I imagine longer, we'll see about a 19.3 increase in warranty revenue. Again, because there will be millions more vehicles on the road that are covered. EV warranty costs are higher. Technology, there's more technology that costs more. So this is really good news if we think we're going to be in a customer pay challenged environment, because warranty will be more than offsetting that. Mm-hmm. So great news.
Wow.
Now, a couple of other things, and we've talked about this previously on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Ted, but we have recalibrated our forecast here. We know that the human beings, the W-2 employees that have historically done warranty processing at the dealership, have been on the decline. They are leaving the workforce, and they are not being replaced by the younger generations. By the way, we've talked in the past about why is that. My daughter is 25, and I asked her why she thought that was, and she said, and I quote, duh, Dad, nobody in my generation wants to sit in a green screen and push warranty around.
That's right.
Well,
that's right. I'm afraid those days are coming to an end. Yes.
Yeah, and that is why we have increased our forecast for the decline, Ted. Now we're calling for by 2025, below 60%. You may recall that we thought previously, when we discussed this about 6 months ago, that we thought that we'd get into the mid 60s, but it is moving much faster than even we had anticipated. So stay tuned. But essentially what it means, and here's the really interesting thing, if you think about this, warranty processing demand is going to be going up, at exactly the same time that the human resources that have historically done it, I know, are on the decline. There is a scalability problem here. So stay tuned for that. If I had to bet my stack of chips, Ted, I would bet that this will continue accelerating even beyond what we're forecasting.
Yeah.
You know, because
I'm going to place my bet on WarrCloud too.
Well, thank you. I will. We will put. Yeah, I got on a black hat, so put your chips there on black. Because of this, the trend of warranty processing outsourcing will grow. It is inevitable as demand goes up and the human beings that do it. There's no place for it to go, right? So there's a lot of good reasons for that as well. You know, warranty outsourcing is less expensive. You can reduce your cost by 50 to 60%. You convert what are essentially fixed expenses. And keep in mind, these human beings, you know, employees have been getting increasingly more expensive over the last couple of years, and that trend will continue. So when I say this, I'm talking about current expenses, not future expenses.
And Jim, if I can add, with all the inflationary pressures that have occurred in the last 12 months, that cost of the employee at the dealership has gone up significantly. So, you know, to say this is really very conservative. So it's more and more attractive to look at technology.
I think so. You know, the other thing that you get is you can convert your fixed expenses, employees, you know, benefits, bonuses, and things to variable expenses somewhat. Business process outsourcing, BPOs, because they are specialists, you know, they have the ability to, and time, to find an extra 0.2 here or 0.4 here on the RO that increases your warranty revenue. So, you know, specialization is always a good thing. And look, outsourcing is faster. You get, you know, 24-hour turnaround on your claims. What does that do? That improves your cash flow. So what's not to like? So again, I'm not sticking my neck out with a bold prediction here. It's clear this is where the trend is going. And I think that we will see an acceleration. So an interesting topic here, OEM warranty compliance. We see a mixed bag. You know, on the good side, what we've seen over the last year, Ted, the larger OEMs are easing up on, you know, the basic documentation. For example, they're no longer requiring text to time punch on their basic opcodes, which is great. However, and there's always a however, it is critical that your key warranty metrics need to be above average. Your time to close an RO, your time to submit an RO, your first time success rate. You need to keep those up because, other side of the scale, the OEMs are back on the audit trail and they are out and they are auditing more. I hear this across all the brands from my service leaders friends, but you can expect that scrutiny to increase for your below average dealers. That's why it's so important to keep your metrics up. You do not want that knock on the door, you know, say, hey, I'm here from, you know, fill in the blank. And I'm here to help you with an audit.
No, that's what we want.
Next, and not surprising, given what's happening on the variable side, we fully expect that dealers, look, here's what's happened. We have the new normal for profitability with the dealer, right, Ted? Record profit in 2022, record profit in 2021, record profit in 2020. But that's the new normal. So as a variable side contribution declines, dealers and general managers are going to be looking to service for more profit contribution, right? We've seen it since time began. So you can set your watch on this prediction. As new and used vehicle margins erode, dealers will need to fill the profitability gap. And everybody on this call knows that service is old, reliable, right?
Yes,
now, we've been there, done that, but here's the trick. Keep in mind, we may be in a challenging customer pay environment because we're going to see more EV sales, fewer moving parts, less maintenance. We're in an uncertain economy. We've got interest rates up. We may see fewer customer pay opportunities. So your most likely target for optimizing based on your dealer and GM profit asks will come from improving your warranty environment. Sorry, Ted, did you have a question? We're going to say something.
You're right. You're right on, my friend. Yeah, this describes where we're headed.
No, I think so. I mean, you know, everything is a cycle and a pendulum, and the pendulum is swinging back to service. And you're seeing it swing, away from CP toward warranty. This isn't new. I mean, we are in a very cyclical industry. So you just need to look back to get a sense of what's going to happen. So let's talk about that for a second. There are only 3 ways to improve service profitability, at least that I know of. Number 1, you increase the number of ROs, number of customers. Number 2, you increase your dollars per RO. Number 3, you reduce expenses. Increasing the number of customers is the most difficult, highest degree of difficulty. Increasing dollars per RO, moderately difficult. Reducing expenses is easiest. And where WarrCloud, my company, plays is in the 2 easier categories. So keep that in mind, because you don't want to necessarily be taking on big, difficult to implement projects. You want to, if you have those, great, and you have the bandwidth. But typically what you want to do is you want to do the things that are easier to implement, easier to digest. The state of in-house warranty processing, and when I say in-house, I mean at dealer. Today, the cost of warranty processing consumes about 12% of the gross profit from warranty revenue. That's because each claim takes on average 11 minutes. We already know that the people who do it are hard to find, and there's no technology in-house. It's data entry, people memorizing codes, people going to the OEM site to look up the codes, trying to remember, as you can see here, trying to find sticky pads and everything else. So that's why it's challenging, and that's the area of opportunity. You can significantly improve your profit profile by finding something, typically outsourcing, that reduces those costs by half or more. To that end, and Ted, no one has heard this before, so this is a first.
Yeah.
Our announcement for 2023 is that WarrCloud is bringing new pricing. Our dealers told us a lot in 2022, and a couple of things they told us is, hey, variable pricing is great, but we want some more predictability of expenses. And what we also found, Ted, what we did before is we charged a full variable rate. We just got paid a percentage of what we processed. But the dealer said, you know what happens? When we go to the factory and we get that warranty rate reimbursement, you get a raise. And you do a great job. We don't mind you getting a raise, but we don't want it to be a big raise. So what we've done is we are introducing new pricing. We're charging 1.5% of the claims we process. That is way down from before.
Yes.
That is way down from the competition. We'll augment that with a small fixed monthly subscription. Okay. It's different based on your situation, so talk to your WarrCloud rep. But it is less expensive. Okay. It is more predictable. Nice. It is less variable, and it boosts dealer profitability, which is the key here.
Even better.
So,
Love it.
Just to summarize, Ted, again, 2023, we think new vehicle sales volumes are going to be up, but margins will be down. Used vehicle sales volume and margins will be down, plus F&I will be challenged. The variable side of the house is going to be challenged, which means service will get the call. But be careful. Customer pay may be challenged because of economic environments and because of EVs selling more. Warranty will be up to bat. So OEM warranty compliance, mixed bag, requirements are down, but audits are up. We see outsourcing coming up. And the takeaway is you got to look for ways to optimize your service operations, because the call is going to come looking for more profitability. I think there's more long ball in warranty, optimizing warranty top line and bottom line. And just to remind everyone, WarrCloud is the award winner in 2021. We won right here. Thank you for your votes. 2022, we won the Navicon Cup.
Yes.
As Ted so kindly points out, he hears WarrCloud everywhere. That is because, frankly, its time has come. It's a great idea. And we're first mover with technology that automates warranty processing. So thank you again. Maybe a few questions from the audience, or Ted, any questions from you?
Jim, we've got, watching this event and at all the Fixed Ops roundtables, we have the early adopters, and your technology is proven, and it is, look, all we're hearing a lot about at this event, the Wild West, is get your warranty house in order. It's the beginning of a new year. Make sure that while customer pay, like you said, there's going to be a lot of different forces entering the market. What's undeniable is that there will be more EVs. Those warranty dollars will be higher there, bigger focus on warranty, reducing expenses. Jim, you're right in line, and congratulations to you, because I'm hearing nothing but great things from our dealers and dealer groups who are utilizing WarrCloud.
Thank you, Ted. It's always a fun and pleasure to be on here. I love talking about, where we see the world going. I know everybody's got a crystal ball, but it's just great to have such a large audience who is really keenly interested on these insights. So thank you again for the invitation. I don't see your Tully button on your hat. I'm sure you'll rectify that as soon as our segment is over. I get paid $1 every time I put one of these on camera.
I better talk to Tully, because I'm only getting 50 cents. No, just kidding. But Tully's our great friend. And Jim, no better time than now, beginning of the year, get everything in order at your dealership groups. Talk to Jim Roche at WarrCloud. He's got a great team in place. That team is growing. WarrCloud.com. You see it scrolling across the bottom. Jim's email is there as well if you want to reach out to him. He leads. He's the visionary behind this, and he's a force to be reckoned with a very successful track record in our industry. So, Jim Roche, congratulations to you and WarrCloud, and you are setting the pace here at the Fixed Ops community.
Thank you, Ted. It's been great, and thank you all for listening. Everybody have a great 2023.
Jim Roche, I'll invite you back. We got to talk about this some more. I'm sure there'll be a lot happening in the next couple months. So I'm looking.
I'm running out of hats, but I'll be here.
All right. Well, our next one is the Back to the 80s event. So I understand that Tully and Ed and some of the others have ordered some wigs already. So we're looking forward to seeing how that comes out.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, good. Thanks for the advance warning. I will get to work.
Jim Roche, everybody, from WarrCloud, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you again.
If your dealership is leaking profits and you don't know why, you need more than data. You need Vision AST. Vision AST is a single solution analytics platform engineered to uncover critical information from your DMS. Using real-time data to drive profit from every department is what we do. And with Vision AST, just log in on any device and your KPIs are right at your fingertips. You can't manage what you can't measure. Take control of your dealership's profits with Vision AST.
Our next speakers are leaving recalls in the dust. Welcome the team from BizzyCar.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. BizzyCar is built by dealers for dealers. They are the software platform that drives service revenue to you. We are honored today to have with us the CEO, Ryan Maher, and Mike Murray, the CRO. Ryan and Mike, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
You have got something really unique, Ryan, in the auto industry. We're excited to tell our audience about it. Before we do, give us a little bit of your background and the backstory, if you don't mind.
Well, I've been in the car industry my whole life. I'm a third generation dealer based out of the Midwest. We have a group of dealerships that my grandfather started after World War II. And I grew up in the space. I started off as a porter when I was 12 years old, washing cars. And my brother went through the sales side and I went through the fixed ops side. And minus 6 years in the Marine Corps, I've been in the auto industry my whole life. But in the last 3 years, now I'm on the vendor side. And it's exciting to be on both sides of the table. And that's a little bit about how I've been spending, the last 20 years of my life.
Wow. And Mike?
Yeah, great. So I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for BizzyCar. Prior to this, I have a long history of developing and innovating new technologies as it applies to automotive. Most recently, I was a partner in a firm called GoMoto that sold to Reynolds and Reynolds.
All right. Well, this is not just any story, everybody. Ryan, tell us a little bit about warranty recalls. Why is this so important right now, not just to dealers, but OEMs and consumers as well?
I'd always been familiar with warranty recalls. My brother and I love spending our Saturdays and inside of our dealerships, talking with our customers and being with our teams. But we really like getting a chance to try new things and innovate new things. And that's one of the beauties of being in this great industry. And warranty recalls are one of those things that up until a few years ago were really painful to deal with. And the process for getting warranty recalls repaired, it hasn't changed since, my dad and my grandfather have been involved in this business. Sending a letter out to a customer and then hoping that they get that appointment scheduled at your store. And then you're hoping that you have the parts in the store when the customer shows up. So it's warranty recalls are a huge part of our industry. I was really shocked at the scale, at the size of these warranty recalls. There's about 60 to 70 million cars on the road today with a warranty recall. So about 1 out of 4. And to dealers, it creates about $22 billion a year of opportunity. And so when we kind of figured this out that, hey, this warranty recall thing is being approached the wrong way, we decided we wanted to get a little more involved in the process.
Well, I think that what you have is a game changer. So tell us, if you don't mind, what is BizzyCar?
Yeah, so BizzyCar is a software platform that's designed on making cars safer on the road, driving customer retention for the OEMs, but also making sure that dealers get increased profitability. Think of us as the ultimate warranty hook, or I guess for today, warranty lasso for getting customers into your store. And there's a guaranteed revenue that's going to come with that. So what we've done with BizzyCar is we've digitized the entire warranty recall space so that we could innovate, and instead of making warranty recalls a cumbersome process, we've turned it into a profit center for dealers.
And that's what it needs to be. And as I mentioned earlier, you are built by dealers for dealers. How did you come up with the concept?
So it's a great story. my brother and I were spending a Saturday afternoon in one of our dealerships, and we were having a little back and forth, and we said, wouldn't it be great if we could find where more warranty recalls were located? And so we would literally go online to Auto Trader and Cars.com and Car Gurus and so on and so forth, and we would search for Nissans or Hyundais, and we would grab the VIN numbers, and we would look up the vehicles to see which ones had warranty recalls, and then we'd call those used car lots. And that process was incredible. We were making $14,000, $15,000 a month using that process. And so we realized, hey, there's something here. There's got to be a better mousetrap. And so we went out and we built one. We hired a ton of people from Google, Facebook, and Uber, and we built an algorithm and we patented it. And we went out. So we are the best in the world at finding where these vehicles are with warranty recalls on both dealer lots and customer driveways. And then the entire process is automagical. And what we're able to do is drive customers into the store without a single person in the dealership having to lift a finger.
Wow. So this is a game changer. And you're going to make a huge difference for dealerships and OEMs just by the way you're going to go about doing it, Ryan.
Yeah, so we're really excited about what's happened. So we've been around just over 3 years now. We've gone from 0 partnerships and 0 customers. We work with 8 OEMs now, and our process works by making the warranty recall process a lot easier. And the easiest way to get dealers to adopt to something is give them a tool and a system that doesn't include a process change. I work with dozens of dealers in my dealership group. It's another thing I have to log into. It's another tool I have to make sure is being managed. There's a lot of vendors that I work with, and I get the fee. I'm signing the check, and I'm hoping that my team is doing what they're supposed to be doing every month. And you kind of just white knuckle it until your account review. That's not the BizzyCar way. And as a dealer, I'm a dealer.
Okay.
What we wanted to be able to do was build a product for dealers that required them to do nothing. All they have to do is fix the car. And BizzyCar is so simple. We find where these vehicles are located. We reach out to the customers via text message or phone call, and we're allowed to do that because it's a warranty recall.
Oh.
And then we get that customer into the store.
Okay.
But before we do that, we're checking the DMS for parts availability.
Whoa.
We're checking to make sure that the shop has capacity. This is completely automated using artificial intelligence. AI is going to be the theme, I think, for 2023, Ted. Yeah. And everybody's talking about this right now. And what I think is going to happen is by the end of this year, you're going to see a lot of companies like BizzyCar that are really pushing the AI space and really pushing the envelope. But I think the key here is it's got to be automagical. It's got to be something, as dealers are looking at expenses, that they know is happening behind the scenes. It's generating ROI without them having to do anything. And that really gives owners like me and my brother and my father peace of mind. It's a system that works without having to do any effort.
So Ryan, if I have, let's say, even multiple rooftops and multiple managers under each of those, and I go to I don't have to have a kickoff meeting or a introduction meeting. You've got the whole thing handled without having to, stop business to do all that.
No, I'll tell you a quick story. So okay. One of our best customers, Bob Tasca, he's on your show quite a bit. And when he signed up, I went to go visit him in an auto race in the fall.
So this is Bob Tasca the third, our good friend. Yes.
Bob Tasca the third, B3. And he's sitting there in his race car, and we had just talked about the BizzyCar product. And he gets out of the car, he comes over and he goes, "Hey, why do I need to sign up all my managers and service advisors for training?" I said, "I don't know. We want to show them how the product works." He goes, "Nah, we're not going to do that. Doesn't your product work without anybody having to do anything?" I said, "Yeah, that's exactly how it works." He goes, "Well, then that's what we're going to do." And so what we did for the Tasca group is, and what we're doing for all of our customers now, is the owner or the dealer principal or the GM just says yes, and BizzyCar is turned on, and it's no different than online service scheduling. Customer cars just start showing up, and dealers just start generating money. And it's been a great process that way, because you don't have to fight the friction that happens. You know, service managers are busy. They don't have time. They want to do well, but they don't have the time. And that's where we come in. We're taking that burden off of them, and we're generating profit for the dealers without needing to intervene.
Wow. We are talking today to Ryan Maher and Mike Murray. They're with a company called BizzyCar, and they are revolutionizing the dealer recall process. I see how the dealer will benefit. What about the OEM and the consumer ultimately?
Yeah, Mike, you want to weigh in on that one?
Yeah, sure. So thanks. So it's interesting because for us, everyone's benefiting, right? Whether it's the consumer, the OEM, the dealership. And from a consumer perspective, they benefit because the faster their car gets repaired, the better they feel, right? They want to feel safe. They want a peace of mind. So rather than getting an email or a letter telling them about a recall, which traditionally, as we know, they gather it and they throw it in the trash, or they hit it into the delete file.
Yeah.
There's a solution that tells them about the recall and then schedules them directly without them having to take any additional steps. So from a consumer perspective, can you imagine where you don't have to do anything? It's simply one step for you to get that car scheduled. On the OEM side, the OEMs benefit because we're accelerating the completion of the open recalls, leading to these safer vehicles on the road that Ryan's talked about, but we're also limiting the liability and any of the costly fines associated with these open recalls. So if you truly think about it, whether you're the OEM, whether you're the consumer or the dealership, you're winning. There's very few solutions out there that have a proposition that works for everybody along the value chain.
And you gentlemen are seeing ROI for the dealer by utilizing this platform?
Absolutely. Most of our dealers are generating about $5,000 a month. We focus on dollars. And the reason why this is such a valuable tool is one, you don't have to staff for it. You don't have to train for it. You don't have to teach for it.
Okay.
You turn it on and it just works. The second thing that's really important about this is that recalls are everywhere. 70 million cars. I mean, you couldn't complete all of these in a year if you tried. And so from an ROI perspective, what's really valuable is, in addition to getting this great guaranteed revenue stream, a third of the customers that come in using the BizzyCar product are buying extra stuff. So if you're, for other vendors and other people that are part of the Wild West this week, this is a great opportunity to sell them a BG fluid flush, or to sell them a set of wiper blades, or maybe get that customer that had defected to an independent. Though you're re-engaging from an owner loyalty perspective. So from the OEM side, and that's why we're working with 8 OEMs now, is they see the value on an engagement, on a retention, on a customer satisfaction standpoint. So ROI is measured not just in, hey, I don't have to staff for this. It's not just in dollars, but it's in that very, very valuable owner loyalty and engagement piece.
So, gentlemen, a number of our dealers at the Fixed Ops Roundtable have been engaged with mobile service, going to the customer at their convenience and doing the service of them. We have a very large Ford Lincoln dealer in St. Augustine, Florida, who's been doing that for a while. And I think he has now almost a dozen of those units. How will BizzyCar help with those warranties and the utilization on such a mobile platform?
Yeah, if you're a mobile dealer and you're on this listening to us today, BizzyCar is your product. And in fact, there's an OEM that is sponsoring that product for you. A lot of our OEM partnerships, this product is completely free. So come check us out at NADA. We'd love to show you which OEMs are, the product is fully subsidized for you, not co-op, fully subsidized.
Wow.
So from a mobile perspective, how many mobile dealers are out there just have that mobile truck sitting in the back of their lot? I have a mobile service truck. The beauty of BizzyCar is that we can guarantee you dollars on that mobile truck. And the way that we do that, you're not going to make money doing a rotate or an oil change.
No, you're right. A lot of dealers have struggled with that, right?
Can't make that work. We're averaging $332 per warranty repair. And so what we're able to do is we're able to point you in the right direction where the guaranteed honeypots are. And then every upsell or every additional service visit after that for that mobile truck is just profit. It's just icing. And that's the beauty of the BizzyCar solution, is we're going to show you where these recalls are located. And they could be in a customer's driveway, sure, but we work with dozens of different used car lots, auctions, fleets. We can provide you all of this information. And when you see the platform, and it's kind of an aha moment, when you see that platform and we say, there's 17 recalls sitting across the street at such and such used car lot, sure. You send that mobile truck over there, he could be there for 2 days. I mean, think about how many vendors are sitting in my lot right now. If I went outside right now and looked at my lot, I got the dent and ding guy and I got a vinyl guy. It's just another vendor. So if you want to get your mobile truck engaged, use BizzyCar.
All right. I think we are going to hear a whole lot more about BizzyCar now and into the year. Ryan and Mike, if our audience is going to be at NADA later this week, will you be there?
Mike?
Yeah, we'll be at NADA this year. Looking forward to Dallas. We'll be in booth number 6744. Okay. Feel free to stop by. And Ryan, I look forward to meeting you while we're down there.
All right. And if our audience is not going or wants to reach out ahead of time, I see the BizzyCar.com website is on there, and I see an email address, hello@BizzyCar.com, hello@BizzyCar.com. So I'm assuming that's the best way to get a hold of you, gentlemen. So wonderful.
That's right. We're here. We're growing, and we hope to be a part of the ecosystem for many years to come.
Everybody, a game changer, a new game changer in the recall space that will apply to all of our dealers at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We encourage you to reach out to BizzyCar. They are built by dealers, for dealers, and I want to thank Ryan Maher and Mike Murray for your time today. I'm excited. I had the aha moment a couple times, Ryan, as you were speaking.
Ted, thanks. We're excited and look forward to working with everybody and seeing everybody at NADA.
Ryan and Mike from BizzyCar here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
I now have the most positive, engaging, and informative service experience right in the palm of my hand, all with Infinitive's new Tech Video. This great new feature is part of their Service Lane technology suite, and it's available as a standalone benefit or to enhance your MPI service. With Tech Video, I can record and re-record high-definition videos, detailing the entire inspection process, whether it's explaining services performed, additional service recommendations, sending an estimate, or even thanking a customer. Tech Video allows us to personally communicate with our customers directly via SMS or email, so we can show them any of our recommendations in real time. Videos can be up to 7 minutes in length and only stream when the customer selects to view. No buffers or downloading, only instant playback. When a customer responds, it will appear instantly in our message chat. How great is that? So let your service team experience smoother transactions, easier communication, and happier customers with Infinitive's Tech Video. To learn more, contact Infinitive today online at infinitive.com.
This is our scanning system, which consists of a touchscreen computer and a 60-page per minute duplex scanner. I am going to show you how to scan a typical repair order. Bring up our dealer scanning application. Click on Repair Orders. Place the repair order in the scanner and click on the Scan Repair Order. This will start the scanning process, which will scan all pages front and back and automatically read the repair order number. After scanning is complete, the repair order number will be shown on the screen. For this example, the repair order number is 995957. You can now confirm that the repair order number matches the number on the screen. Then click OK, which converts the scanned pages into a PDF document and saves them into the system. To view the scanned pages, simply click on the View button, which will bring up the repair order where you can easily view and navigate all the scanned pages. You also have the ability to scan small items like battery test printouts or service coupons. Simply load the small items into the scanner and click the Scan Other Items button, and they will be scanned and added to the existing repair order. You can view the scanned items by clicking the View button where you can see the items at the bottom of the PDF document. It is simple. Now, I am going to show you how service advisors, accounting, warranty administrators, parts department, and technicians can easily retrieve the scanned repair orders. Each person will have the repair order viewer on their computer, which allows them to look up repair orders by repair order number, VIN number, or customer name. For this example, we will use the repair order we just scanned, which is 995957. Click Search. The scanned record will be shown, and by clicking on the scanned date, you can see the contents of the scanned repair order. Here, users can print or download or email the repair order document. It is simple. How much does this cost? You don't need to contact us or email us for a quote. We'll give it to you right now. $500 installation fee. $500 monthly service fee per unit. Unlimited scanning. No long-term contract, just month to month. Dealer scanning. Organize your dealership documents, saving time, space, and money.
This roundup is just getting started. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable Wild West event.
It's time to bring your dealership into the modern payment era with the panel from DealerPay.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Modern payment acceptance has been all the talk at Fixed Ops. I want to introduce the A-list panel. Julie Douglas, the president of DealerPay, Tully Williams from the Nilo Company, and Sir Shon Kingrey from Wisconsin, from our friends at the Kaiser Automotive Group. Shon, it's going to take me a little time to get used to that.
No, listen, if I can get used to it, Ted, you can get used to it.
All right, very good. Well, thank you all for being here. By the way, Julie, congratulations on all the success especially on the fixed ops side. You have taken the fixed ops world by storm. I understand Tully and the Nilo Company have something to talk about as well with DealerPay.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
we do. We are so excited. After extensive training, extensive investigations, our office controllers all said yes, and that's the key issue. And I think that when you look at a credit card processing company, this is something that we don't like to talk about, but it's so important, right? One is important, is it easy to use by the customer? Second, is it easy to use by your people, your team, your riders, your parts counter, your parts drivers, right? And your F&I and salespeople. And then, of course, does it make your business office happy? Because if the business office isn't happy, it's not going to work out. And that's where we really succeeded. We had a great meeting with our office, all of our office controllers at all of our stores. Julie walked through the process, showed how it worked, showed the reporting, everything happened, and guess what? Boom, all in.
Wow. Julie, that is not necessarily an easy thing to do. Congratulations to you.
Thank
you. Talk to us a little bit about what Tully and the group can expect.
Sure. So, just to, elaborate on Tully's point, when you get a call together, especially with, that many controllers or office managers, mostly women, I believe, it's kind of hard to, manage their expectations because you don't know what they're, expecting you to show them. And this was a different situation because it was very easy. I mean, there was ladies like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Will it do this? Will it do that? And, those are great opportunities because I can say yes. And, I'm very, very lucky and proud to bring on Nilo. So we're excited to get that going. So thanks again, Tully.
Excited for both of you. Shon, no pressure. All right.
No pressure at all. No, you know what? Yes. And again, I love following Tully. It's my favorite thing to do on all the panels, I promise. You know, and Ted, is all the panels and all the recordings and all the live events we do, as we're in process and Julie and I talk, you know, Tori's got it dead on. It's all about the office manager, the controller, whatever their title is. It's not the service manager, sorry, because they're not the ones, they're not the end user. They're not the ones dealing with it behind the scenes. It is the office manager. And Julie's well aware that as we're rolling out our processes slowly, one day at a time, that Julie's in that forecast. We all know that. We all know the tools that she brings to the table and how it streamlines and how much time it saves on the fix on our side, chasing stuff the next day with the little lady that comes out because she's missing a check, she's missing a credit card, and it resolves all those issues.
Yep.
So, Julie, take us back. Give us a little bit of a foundation on modern payment acceptance for those who may have somehow missed this in the past. And then I want to talk about some new things that you want to bring to the table today as well.
Sure. So modern payment acceptance, in a bubble is a system or a point of sale system that is designed just for dealers. So it's designed on an enterprise level that captures each of their stores, each of their departments, all the way down to the physical terminal that is on a desk. And we set it up so that it's organized in a fashion where we're collecting just as much data as possible and reporting on it to that office that we talked about to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But modern payments is technology. It's the ability to put technology in a payments platform for optimal use, not just to please our customers and give them multiple ways to pay, which is big, but to also make the experience for the person using the system very, very good and easy. Modern payments is doing things behind the scenes that you don't really think about. For example, we have a solution called Level 2 and Level 3 processing. It's designed specifically for business purchasing and corporate cards that you guys take, and it's designed to lower your rate. And nobody even knows it's happening. It just happens to be something that I developed behind the scenes to make sure those requirements were met to lower the rate. So that's an example for you, Ted. But overall, there's a lot of things that DealerPay has that fall under modern payments umbrella.
And Tully, if you don't mind, just give us a little snapshot. What was it that attracted you to DealerPay? Was it the fact that, she is embedded in retail, has the roots in retail, in dealerships, or you tell us?
Well, I think the key issue is that most old-time business, we've been in business for 101 years. Our processor is the big banks. Big banks don't care about companies. And here's the deal. They probably sub the process out to somebody else anyways. The issue is that we want to have service. As we provide great service, as you, Ted, as you, Shon, as you, Julie, provide great service, we want a credit card processor to provide good service for us because we don't want to take checks. We don't want to take cash. We want to take credit cards. And we want a process that our people use easily. The hardest thing is that, the credit card terminal is around the corner to the left. And then there's a line of people that are trying to run their credit card. That's insane. What we want is the ability of the service provider to say, I'll accept your payment here today. Would you like me to send you a link? Would you like to tap, push, or stab, or whatever it is on the little terminal piece? Whatever they want, that's what we need to offer. And then the holy grail of all is the reporting there to support our office managers that work extremely hard upstairs, getting that all done so we can get our financial statement done so we all get paid.
And Tully, you were mentioning in the green room before we got started a couple scenarios. If you don't mind, talk to us a little bit about that, because there are parts deliveries. There are a lot of moving things that this will interact and help with as well.
Great point, Ted. I think the issue is parts delivery is a big deal. Wholesale is a business that every dealer is in, and some are bigger in it than others. Some have accounts. Some take checks. Some take credit cards, right? The issue is that we want to take, if we accept a check or take a credit card, the parts driver, oh my God, I'm going to say it one more time. Oh my God, the parts driver can accept it. Tap, stab, swipe, right? And she's going to talk to us in a second on how she can accept checks at the body shop. Oh my God, what a concept. The goal is, how do we make it easier and make sure we get paid? Because here's what happens with wholesale. They have 400 million deliveries a day, and we're missing one check. It takes like 4 days to figure it out. It's insane because there's so many invoices. There's so many things going on. We're going to save time and money. And here's the best part of this whole thing. We are saving money by using this product, right? Usually when you have all these bennies, is that it costs you more. Funding, bam, now, discount rate, changed, lowered, integration with CDK, not $4 million a month for. A lot of things happen.
I love it.
Julie, do you want to elaborate on that? Because Tully's right. There's a whole lot going on at dealerships.
Yeah, I mean, we got into the DMS integration a little more than a year ago, and really what it is, it's data. So it's less things that operators at a dealership have to do, and it's a live feed. So we're getting real-time data directly from CDK or the DMS that you're using, and we're applying it to the transaction. So really, it's like click, click, done. When it comes to the parts and mobile, yeah, we have a mobile app. It's really great. It's a slim version of the full system, but it gives that delivery driver or that person who just wants to go out to the lot to take a payment, whatever it might be, the flexibility to do it quickly. And it's considered a card present transaction, which one, reduces the risk, and two, reduces the cost. So having a mobile option in your dealership, it seems extra, but it's really not if you think about the various use cases that it could be used for.
So Shon, there's been a lot of discussion here at this roundtable, a lot of panels, specifically on the ability to take our products and services and be everywhere, to be at the customer's driveway like an Ed Roberts, to deliver mobile service, and to make everything, Shon, convenient for the customer. Talk to us about that, because this seems to fit in pretty well with that.
It really does. And I got to tell you, coming from at a group now that has 3 Ford stores, pickup and delivery is a thing now, guys. It's a real thing. Ford, and they just announced it officially, in the first quarter, you have to offer 30% pickup delivery to your clients. That's a client that's never come across. You have to figure out a way to accept payment. How are you going to do it? What's the other way you're going to do it now? Because quite frankly, we all know that there's some DMS options out there that are extremely challenging, to say the least, okay? And they failed, which has kind of given this whole thing a bad taste. I hate to say it, but it has. And I'm going to give Julie a little shout out here. I'm going to tell you what Julie does. Julie's not a vendor, just so everybody understands. Julie develops a partnership. And that's what the key is. And that's why Julie understands, and as Tully always represents, you have to sell the office managers back to that. Because realistically, guys, they're the ones behind the scenes counting the cash and making everything flow. All we're doing is shoving the cash drawer. Look at the amount of people that are feeding that credit card machine. Finance, service, parts, body shop. Everybody's using the machine, and we expect the people behind the scenes, upstairs, in the closet, wherever we stick them, a lot of times they're off-site. Because a lot of people are big about the centralized accounting now, and I've seen it fail, I've seen it work. And you're expecting them 400 miles away to know who ran the credit card and when they did it. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. So huge shout outs to Julie for creating, I hate to say, communication inside the dealership as a partnership. And that's what Julie does in a nutshell.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about a partnership, because with systems like this, it's not, we're going to, get into the dealership and work with you for a few months. I mean, we really want a long-term relationship. And that's one of the things that I've really put a lot of my efforts into, is not just providing a great product and making it operate, wonderfully, but it's also to continue development, continue to add features and tighten things up that are relevant to you guys specifically. It's not going to be in a restaurant or a hotel. It's specifically for a dealer. So, even going down the road further, I'm already jumping the gun and getting into EV chargers and kiosks and different other ways to make it even more convenient for your customers to pay.
Wow. So that is new, Julie. And you got a couple other new things you want to share with us today. And if you don't mind, I want to get some feedback also from Shon and Tully on that. So Julie, what do you got?
Sure. So with our DMS integrations right now, we have that live feed for parts, service, and also deals. And then we've got the reconciliation feature that helps them reconcile the batch on a daily basis. We are going to take it one step further and get into actual accounting receivables and payables. So the goal is to remove that paper check, the paper. So we're going to provide access to them for both debits and credits, receivables and payables, to perform those with electronic transactions. So that's going to just alleviate a lot of time, a lot of mistakes, and make sure you get your money just as fast as possible.
Tully,
So
this sounds far ahead, Tully, of what else is out there.
It does, because you think about this, is that small businesses, which we deal a lot with, body shops are small businesses, right? We're not talking about Google here. We're talking about small business, which is probably 99% of our business. They don't have any money in the bank, right? And they're just trying to float enough money. And I think when you offer the payable situation where they're paying us, is that if they have an option to use a credit card, they get that 30 to 60 day float, which sometimes they need, because what we don't want is a check and they're hoping and praying it passes, right? We don't want that at all. We want the ability to say, we can help you run your business better by you signing up for this and paying with your credit card and get that float that you might need. Because as you know, body shops rely on insurance companies. They pay when they want to pay, right? So I think that we want to make sure we have options for our great customers. We want those body shops. We want those independent shops that buy parts from us every day to make it, because they are great customers, and wholesale is a big part of a dealership's business.
Julie?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So we're looking to advance, some of our integrations with the DMSs today. We're also adding some different payment types. So for example, with our send payment request feature that you can send a link by text or email, remember with the DMS integration, it also includes a copy of the repair order. So when that consumer signs on behalf of the payment receipt, they're also signing that repair order, and we're keeping that for your records if there's any issues with a dispute or anything after the fact. So that's really big. But guess what? Now we're going to do is we're going to add PayPal. Give customers a PayPal Venmo option to pay with that text or email request. So that's one thing we're getting ready to roll out as well. And then here, I know there's a lot of competition out there now, but I'm getting in there. Buy now, pay later. So we are working with a couple of partners to develop dealer pay later as a tender type, both in and out of the dealership, and even pre-qualify them on the front end so that perhaps those ROs could be, include more services. So you can basically increase your ticket for those two transactions.
Very impressive. Tully, if you spoke to your peers, if they spoke to you, about, considering something like this, what would you say to them?
I say is that do you have cashiers at your store? And if you do, stop it, please. What we want is our service advisors to be the last person that talks to us. The reason we don't have service advisors as cashiers is that we have to buy all this expensive equipment from our banks that don't even work. And and if there's a problem, call the 1-800 and be on hold for 10 hours. The issue, what we want is that we want it to be easy for our customers and easy for our service riders to be the last person besides the person bringing the car up that talks to that customer. Yes. The worst thing you can ever do is, okay, your bill is $1,497. The cashier's around the corner to the left. And they get up there and the bill's $1,800. The cashier's going, let me try to find the person. He's got a urinary infection, can't be found. What the hell? Right? The issue is that we want to make it where the person at the desk can resolve that problem and make that person happy. Why? Because we're in the repeat and referral business. And I hate to tell you, credit cards is what it's all about.
Wow. And Julie, this is really, truly the last step in the retail process. And the customer has a long memory, and they're gonna remember this.
Yep. One more thing I want to throw out there. We've also just added gift and stored value. So we are offering dealers the ability to sell gift cards at their dealership for any good or service redeemable only at the dealership, in addition to stored value, which isn't actually a transaction, but it's helping to manage those WEOs that you guys have for various reasons, whether it's a disgruntled customer or an employee, whatever it might be. So we're just trying to add certain components to a point of sale software program that cover all the bases, all the things.
Wow. Shon, any closing thoughts?
Yes. For those out there that are debating this and debating why this works, guys, you guys want to get inside your controller's head. You want to be their hero. Cash flow is king, guys. What Julie does is Julie creates cash flow. Quick cash flow, quick cash into the banks, baby. They see the money tomorrow. How's that? That's the key right there. They see the money tomorrow. Especially to Tully's point on wholesale and collecting checks, guys. Checks are a disaster. Get out of the check business. Get out of it. that's a disaster. Julie offers a solution to that. Cash flow is king, baby.
And Shon, I would think this could probably not only improve the relationship with the office manager, but make sure that they're not meeting with you quite as often, to discuss things like this.
It removes the silo. We talk about it at every panel. It removes the silo. Remove the wall. Don't bring me problems. Bring me solutions. Here's a solution, guys, right here.
Wow. And Tully, I heard Julie say that she met with not just one office manager, but there may have been several from Nilo.
Well, what we wanted to do is that after we realized that this was a great product for the fixed ops department, the sales department, we had our controllers do it. So she interviewed all of ours. We had a conference call with all of our office controllers. Okay, that's scary right there. And we want to
they can hear you. They'll hear this,
And controllers don't hold back anything, right? No. So the goal is that we want Julie to explain how easy it is for them to do their business right, because they have challenges matching up. As Shon says, you're trying to match the money up because they need the money in the bank.
Yes.
And if you can make them easier, if the controller's on your side, it's a slam dunk. So what she did, she talked to all of our controllers and our vice president, right? She talked to them all, and guess what happened? They all came back saying, wow, it can do this, it can do that. That's how you know the product works. Making your office people happy is key issue.
Julie, I'll give you the last word.
I love office managers. I mean, that's how I started my career, was figuring out a way to make them happy. And it's great to hear you say that. They sound like a great bunch of ladies, and I look forward to working with them. But you guys don't have, an easy operation for some processors, because you've got multiple stores and there's a lot of moving parts. So if you don't have a system that puts all the parts in the right spots, it'd be messy. So I understand why those ladies get frustrated if they're missing that one check, because it throws off their whole batch. It throws off their whole day. So I'm happy to help with it. I look forward to sharing the feedback on the installation. And Shon, you're on my list.
You're on my list too, Julie. And by the way, unlike Tully, I love my office managers. For those that are watching, I love you all. I love you all dearly.
I do too. I love everybody.
Julie, are you going to be in person at the NADA later this week?
I am.
So our office managers, our viewers can stop by and meet with you.
You bet. And DealerPay's got a big booth, and we've got some good giveaways, and we'll be doing demos of our system. So definitely swing by. I'm going to tell you a booth number here in just a second. My apologies for not having it handy.
And by the way, Julie, for those who are not going to NADA, I see that the dealerpay.com website is scrolling across the bottom along with their email. And yep. I see a phone number. It says call or text. So I would assume that's you.
Yep, that's me. Definitely just call Julie. And my booth number is 6938. We'll be representing. I hope to see lots of new faces and lots of friends as well. So.
All right. If you meet with Julie, everybody, tell her that you saw this on the Fixed Ops Roundtable with Tully and with Shon. So, Julie, we appreciate all that you do for our industry, and thank you for...
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate your time.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Ted.
For bringing us to the modern age. Shon Kingrey, thank you so much. Kaiser Automotive Group, Tully Williams at the Nilo Company. Thank you for all you do. The Modern Payment Acceptance Panel here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hello, my name is Julie Douglas, president of DealerPay. For more than 20 years, we've been working exclusively with dealers to process electronic transactions. We've developed a dealer-specific payments and point-of-sale solution designed to help dealers be more profitable, productive, and successful. The reason our solutions have been proven effective is that we understand the dynamics of accepting payments in each department and can offer customized solutions that guarantees to exceed your expectations. Our point-of-sale solutions provide customers with multiple ways to pay. With a strong emphasis on both security and modern technology, we cover all aspects of the purchase and the last experience your customer has in the dealership. It's important to us that your customers are satisfied and your dealership is properly funded for every sales transaction. We are advocates for dealers and recommended in the industry. Let us help you get set up with a seamless transition. Contact me directly. Julie Douglas, DealerPay. Fast, organized, secure. This is absolutely ridiculous.
That doesn't sound right. Can never get this thing to work.
I can't even read this. I have no idea what we're even being charged for.
I don't think I can take that.
Might as well just rip it up.
Bring in the horsepower. We've got Anthony Giagnacovo from CallRevu and dealer Jack Holcomb.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a great honor to welcome back to the conference Anthony Giagnacovo, the CEO of CallRevu. Anthony, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. It's a pleasure to be back, and I'm honored to be here with our dear friend Jack Holcomb from New Smyrna. Jack is experience in this industry is unbelievable, and but not only is his experience unbelievable, and he's done tremendous things with his operations, but also a man who's a forward thinker. We worked with Jack on our new product, CallVision Intel, and also our Service Vision Intel, and he's provided us great insights, and we're honored to have him here today.
Jack, very honored to have you.
Glad to be here. It's first time maiden voyage, so glad to help out and talk and maybe get a few extra good ideas. So let's proceed.
Jack and Anthony, it's interesting, if I may, just to kind of set the stage, Anthony. The phones seem to be the number one topic we are hearing about in service and fixed operations. And I don't mean, Anthony, like anything really scientific, like a lot of the basics, like, are we answering the phones? Are we getting to that phone call? Give us a little backstory, if you don't mind, from your perspective.
No, and you're so right. I mean, right now, the phones are become the quintessential instrument that our customers are using to contact the dealership. I mean, it is what it is. It's gone from where it used to be about 70% of all sales were driven from a phone call to now almost 96% is happening on that end. But on the service side is where you're seeing a tremendous amount of activity. And I'll let Jack tell more about that. The service departments are overwhelmed with the phones. Customers want to have that communication, that information. So knowing what to do and how to do it and understanding where you can correct and adjust is so important. And Jack, please jump in and tell us more about how that's happening on your side.
Well, I think from my perspective is that, first of all, you had to get clean data. I think everybody got caught up in the data world. So every data they was given to them, they just took it and called it was accurate, and we're going to start making decisions off of it. My first was I want to make sure the data is accurate. And what I found was a lot of the data wasn't accurate. So we had to clean up a lot of the technology there, which we've worked with your team and another vendor to really have my level of comfort in the accuracy of the data. So now I have an actionable piece of data that I can start to move forward with and make changes. And, when we went through it, I always say when you go to all of these vendors or you go to, they try to give you more than you really need. Like I usually get there with a singular issue, and by the time I leave, I got a bag full of groceries. And it's like, can I just get back to the singular issue? And the singular issue is when a customer calls, I want them to connect to somebody, and then I want to see how we do when we connect. And to your new tool that's coming out, I think I told you this recently, that
what I like about it is very basic. It's blocking and tackling. It's the fundamentals of the phone. And again, we always try to do more than we start what we wanted. And then I want to know how many people call. So you have the volume of calls that helps me staff. Then how many unique people are actually calling. So then it tells me, well, what's the ratio? Like how many times do my customers actually got to call and get through? And then are they connecting? And then the big thing that I fought for 3 years was status. What's going on with my car? There's no update. There's no, to the point where it drove me nuts. But I looked at, there was two people that were suffering in that transaction or that communication, my employee and the customer. The technology didn't support my employee and the data wasn't clean. So I struggled to come up with a solution. Once we started to see, okay, here's the volume, here's the calls, here's the issues. When we looked at the first numbers, like, oh my God, I can't believe how many people are calling and not connecting. So let's just fix that first. Okay, now we're getting the phones answered. We got enough people there to answer the phone. So we're doing that. Now are we getting them to the people they want to get to? Because the advisors are busy people. They're not. So even if you have an extension, you can get through. That's not connecting in my eyes. Connecting is a human being with an answer that's gonna help you with your questions. So pushing all that and looking at that data as it came through, said, okay, I'm getting a lot of voicemails. I'm still getting a lot of phone calls. I need those voicemails to be humans. So then we took our CRM, we took our phone calls, we trained our operators to more like BDC people to be able to answer it, handle pricing, set appointments, and we call them status alerts. So if you're working in my CRM, you call, it's a status call. I'm going to send an alert to the advisor. You had an alert. But that operator and the lane assistance that I have there, which we just repurposed that labor to handle that issue, though any one of those people can solve that customer's issue. It might be as simple as, I don't have that answer right now, but we're going to call you back in 10 minutes and we're going to have your answers, or anything else that we can do for you. The customer in their eyes, they've never had that answer. They've always said, I'll have somebody call you back. We give them a time. We give them, is this what you want the answer to this question? And then we follow through with it. So, and we have a support staff that helps the advisors when they might just be with a customer working. So we can do two things at once. And then the advisors start to help there. So then you say, okay, now we have a status call. Why did we have a status call? Why did we not communicate? Well, that could be a million different reasons. So the nice thing is when we go into the new service vision and we look at it, I can look at it and I can say, okay, where did the trouble come in the call? And then through it's the timeline that they have of the call. The old way we used to do this was we would go in, if you want to review calls through any technology, you just had a big batch of phone calls and you would start clicking through, or then they got really creative and called them alerts. And then you just, you could review 6 or 7 calls in about an hour. Well, how many managers do we really have in a day that want to burn an hour for that? They don't exist. It's an unrealistic expectation. So you have the technology, the owner checks the box, and somehow because he's got the technology, thinks he's solving the problem. What I looked at was, how can I solve the problem? And what I said is, when I go in there now, I see this red area that's where the trouble in the call lies. So my eyes, when I look at the dashboard, I don't have to open a call up, listen for 6 minutes. I can literally go on the first line of red in the timeline. I have a summary over here where it shows me where we're at. I can hear the tone. I can see the words. I can look at the keywords. And in a matter of 30 seconds, I'm in, I'm out. I know what my problem is. I can get to the employee. I don't need to get up and go talk to them. Through technology, I can send them an email, an alert. I have a call, whatever it is. We're connected, and there's no moving around, because moving around takes time also. So just working those efficiencies through, that's where the system helps me. Like that, but very simple. Like I said, it's like 5 boxes. I had this many calls. I had this many unique customers. I had this many status calls. I had this much that didn't connect, and I had this that went to voicemail. It's 5 boxes. That's manageable, and I can do it in less than minutes and not hours. That's what I like about it. That's as simple as I can make it on that side.
Anthony, how refreshing to hear Jack Jack, you really represent the dealer, because you're right. It's the fundamentals, it's the basics. These are the key metrics. Anthony, wow, just a wealth of information.
Oh, and Jack said there's a few things that I don't really call out, that it's so important to call out. It's, first of all, this is not Big Brother looking over to blame you for something. This is more, how do I help you to become a star? How do I make you better, more perform better? That's, first of all, it's a mindset in many ways, and Jack's got that mindset. We were talking about that previously, and one of the things he said is that historically you would never go in and tell your boss that, hey, I screwed up, or you hope that he didn't catch that, and next month you'll be able to overcompensate for it. Now it's more about, how do I make you better, right? It's, look, but it's time management. Jack doesn't have, nor does his team have, hours to scroll through number of calls and listen to the calls. So CallRevu, as he mentioned, we have a sentiment analysis timeline process. It looks at the sentiment of the calls. It focuses in on the area. This is red. Sentiment is not good. Listen to that, whatever it is, a 20-second, 30-second piece of the call, 10-second piece of the call, pick it up, understand, move on to the next. And that's all important. And now that's only done because, CallRevu has been invested heavily in artificial intelligence. We've been doing this forever, by the way. We're the first, we're not the one touting it out loud, but because of our AI and our experience in this area, we've developed something that helps, Jack and his team do things relatively quickly, which is really important. But it is refreshing to see someone that's noticing that, you can get overwhelmed with the screen. You can have thousands of panels that you can look at, and people are pushing out, what about this? What about that? And Jack is what I call focus, and focus is your friend. So go in, let's get good at this, and then we'll get better at the next things. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're helping.
Jack, for our audience who may not know, give us the lay of the land. What franchises, where are you located, and how long have you been working with CallRevu?
It's at least been 10 years in that area. I don't have the exact data, but it's at least a decade. And I'm in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, which is just 45 miles east of Orlando. And it's a New Smyrna Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and it's a New Smyrna Chevrolet store. They're both new facilities, built within the last 7 years. So we're everything's new. The equipment's new, the technology's new, the brick and mortar's new. It's new.
And it sounds, Anthony, like Jack had a hand in helping with bringing the service vision to fruition, which is your product, which we're hearing everything about here lately.
Well, you're right. So when we came to market to develop a new product for the industry, we created Service Vision Intel, which is the product that Jack helped provide some insights, and was even one of our early beta testers, and taking it to market and now using it as he is using it. So correct. But one thing I do want to say, everything's new in that store, but Jack's been in this business how many years, Jack, now?
About 30. Yeah. The gray in the beard might be coming through a little bit. I kept it brown on top, but I'm being exposed on the bottom here. So yeah, but I've been in New Smyrna 22 years.
Wow. And Jack, approximately about how many service advisors do you have there?
12.
Okay. So you got a lot of calls. You got a lot of moving parts there that you're looking at, and very astutely, as I mentioned, you're looking at the fundamentals and basics without trying to overcomplicate it.
Well, and there's two, it is and isn't. So like you said, we talk about basic, we talk about identifying. So I have my quick service is a big part of our business. It's new. And when I say it's new, it's a new component. It's a retention tool for me. It's been the best feedback from the customers, but it's like a big conveyor belt. There's a lot of expectation that comes with quick service, which is communication, which is appointment setting, which is handling the volume of calls, and that for me, if you want to, we put 16,000 cars through our quick service lanes last year, 16,000 hours. And overwhelmingly, the consumers, the feedback to them is, we like the fact we can get you on the phone or we can talk to you. We like the fact that you're transparent. If we tell you it's broken here, we show you a picture and a video of it. There's no taking our word for it. So the one thing that consumers said is, please communicate with me better. That's first. That's 90%. I don't want to do business with you because I can't. I drop my car off, and then it's just basically I can't get anybody on the phone. I can't get anybody to call me back until it's done. And my life really doesn't matter. If I got to pick my kids up from dinner or from school, if I got to make different alternate transportation issues, all the things that happen in the daily course of our lives that require when we take the one component that gets them from point A to point B out of it, that we need to be understanding and saying, hey, this is when we're going to deliver it back. So communication is not, it's not kind of number one, it's solely number one. And we had to become better at the phones. And the first thing was volume. I had one operator. They were the lowest paid people in the store. Well, guess who's not the lowest paid people in the store anymore? Mm-hmm. Guess who's got an incentive pay plan, just like a sales rep does? I mean, they're tied to my team. They're tied to my CSI. They're tied to everything that everybody in the store is tied to. So they are now part of the team. They are trained properly. They're not just, and I'm guilty as charged. I had, administrative stuff from the back of the house that my controllers had the operators doing warranty schedules and stuff like that, answering the phones, So I'm guilty. I don't come from a clean space. I come up from a very, very self-inflicted issue that I created myself. And then when I started seeing the data, man, the investment became easy. The investment became very easy. And it was weird because there was a little pushback from everybody going, why are we paying these people more? I'm like, there's nobody in the store that handles more one-on-one customer interactions than the people we're hiring. And it's just, like I said, for me, it's one of the most valuable seats in the store.
Anthony, if you take Jack and multiply him by the thousands of dealers and thousands, those are the same pain points that everybody's experiencing in one way or another.
Spot on. That is so true. Jack says it all the time, and I've heard it from many of our other customers. Status checks are your customers telling you that they're not being informed. So having that information, knowing that your people are answering the phone to do status check is telling you that you've got a problem with how you're communicating. And to Jack's point, communication is number one. Imagine if you're able to reduce that to almost nothing. How much more time will those people have? How much more cost saving would you have? We always say, we try to build solutions that are going to help our customers, that are going to deliver value. We're not just we're not building new bells and whistles out there. We're building solutions that are going to be creating efficiencies, effectiveness, and value. And I'm happy to say that a solution that is more productive in communicating with your customer and helping you to do that is very, very valuable. I mean, be it's CallRevu or be it someone else's, but you want to have a solution that drives value.
Wow. So Jack, if our audience, which is dealers, general managers, we've got fixed ops, service managers watching today, if they want to take advantage of some of this expertise and technology, Jack, do you recommend them reach out to CallRevu or go directly to Anthony? How do we do it?
Well, I would highly recommend the product, but I always tell everybody, I tell them, I said, it's your job to give me clean data, put it on a platform that's easy to navigate. It's easy for my managers to use, but it's my job to complete the transaction. I can't hold you accountable for I didn't sell enough cars or I didn't write enough service. Your job is to help me communicate better with my customers. So you have to isolate what the expectation is. And typically what drives me nuts with managers and it's not that I find fault with them. It's that they're looking for the vendor to turn the vendor on and the problem go away. It's a better tool, but we, with our assets, our management, our operations, and our accountability are what's going to keep the processes tight. The technology just makes it easy on everybody participating in the process. I think their product makes it easy for my people to participate in the process.
Love it. Anthony, Service Vision is out now.
Service Vision Intel is out and rolled out. We have well over 400 customers right now on the platform. It's been a tremendous success, and it's impressive. First of all, I'd like to thank Jack for ensuring that we steered in the direction we did, and our other, beta customers that helped us through this process. But it is unbelievably successful. And you can see the need and the demand around this, and integrating it back into the whole entire call, as well as into the sales side, is impressive. Jack said something really important. It's a referral program. You get a customer that's happy on the service side, the high probability that they'll buy from you another car is massive. You piss them off on that side, Jack, do they come back?
Oh no, we haven't figured that one out. I still have that box that populates. If I ever figure out how to make that not to piss the customer off populate, that's it's not you're not going to fix it all. But I can tell you one thing: we keep that number hopefully in the single digits.
Right on.
So,
Anthony, if our audience wants to find out more about Service Vision, CallRevu, CallRevu is going to be at NADA later this week. Is that right?
We're at NADA. We have a phenomenal booth that is going to knock your socks off. So 6139 is our booth number. So please do come by. You'll probably, I've said Jack's coming by to visit us, so you'll get to see the man in person.
Now, if our audience is not going to NADA, they can reach out on the web to CallRevu.
Absolutely.
At callrevu.com.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Well, Jack, I want to thank you on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Welcome and great insights, and very honored to have both you and Anthony Giagnacovo, the CEO of CallRevu. Anthony, any last advice, words?
Thank you, Jack, for being on this. Ted, for doing this Fixed Ops. There is such a high inefficiency on the Fixed Ops side, and it's no fault of the Fixed Ops organizations. Technology hasn't been up there and kept up to speed with it. Today, a solution like a CallRevu can really help. So, it's about time. We've spent so much time on the sales side, on the technology side. Now we have something on the Fixed Ops side, which is very, very impressive and is very accretive. There is definitely an ROI on this one that's easily measured and rapidly measured.
Number one topic at the Fixed Ops Roundtable is the phones. CallRevu, everybody. Number one solution. On behalf of the Roundtable, Jack Holcomb, thank you. Anthony Giagnacovo from CallRevu. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's time to saddle up for the Customer Journey Panel by Vanguard Dealer Services.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We have assembled a panel of experts on the customer journey from sales to F&I to service. I want to introduce the distinguished panel. They are Mickey Quinn from Vanguard Dealer Services, Tully Williams from the Nilo Company in Sacramento, California, Ed Roberts from Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, Florida, Dennis Gingrich from the Nilo Company, and Kristin Jones from Vanguard Dealer Services. Everybody, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to be back.
So this is a topic that we hear talked about a lot. And Kristin, you and I chatted offline before we started about a lot of dealers talk about it, but so few do it. So, Kristin, I'm going to start the questions off today with you. A lot of dealers state one of the most difficult issues is going from sales to F&I to service and providing a great customer experience. Kristin, what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, I think this is an excellent topic because I think it's something every dealership, big or small, struggles with. They talk about it, they want to do it, but I don't think they necessarily walk the walk when it happens. I think the biggest problem is it's really like two different businesses. You have your fixed ops and your variable. They work completely different hours. They have different managers. In a small store, they may physically be next to each other, but we have stores where one's on level 4 and one's on level 1. We have stores that are 3 football fields long. They physically are never in the same area. Sometimes fixed ops has a different lunchroom than the variable because they're in different areas. So I think it is extremely important to talk about how do we bring those two businesses together so that the customer feels a commonality between when they buy the car versus when they service the car. And I think the first step of that is for those departments to start to get to know each other.
I love it. Tully, what are your thoughts?
It really starts with, is your culture at your store realize that you're one store? And what's really good about the Nilo company is that the directors that run the group is that we share an office. My good friend Dennis, which is on this panel today, we are in the same office as we speak today. And we talk about fixed and we talk about variable together. It starts there, and we put that down to the general manager, which then in turn works with the sales managers and service managers and service writers. It starts by everybody realizing we're on the same team. That's not easy. I just want to say that. We talk about that, but that's usually not the case. So when Dennis and I go to stores, we go together. We talk about it. I'm in the sales meeting. He's in the service meeting. We're all together as one team. That's the first barrier you must break. Nobody's better than everybody else. We're all equal. We're all trying to do what? We're in that repeat and referral business. And that's what F&I drives.
Dennis, I've heard so much about the Nilo company and how you do that. There had to be some resistance in the early days in setting that up.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a little bit of hesitancy. I just think that's rooted in a lot of dealerships. You have like Kristin hit on, it's like some people look at it as two businesses, but at the end of the day, we're trying to do one thing, and that's really take care of the consumer. So if sales does a great job and delivers an awesome experience and they hop over and no fault to maybe a service advisor, but they just don't have the right information to deliver the promises that were made up front, then the whole experience is wrong. They're not coming back. And, as much as I hate to quote my good friend Tully Williams, we are in the repeat and referral business. And we're all just trying to keep people coming back because, right now, here we are, January 2023, going into what might be a tough market. And we need to make sure we're pouring on that great customer service. So when it does really get tough, we got people coming in the service drive, having a good experience. They meet a great salesperson, they meet a great F&I manager, and the circle of life just starts all over. And once people connect the dots and see how it works, it makes sense. They buy in, and then they execute at a higher level.
Love it. Ed Roberts, you've got a big operation, not spread out. Everything's under one roof. Probably the biggest shop for service on the East Coast with your big 85,000 square foot expansion just a couple of years ago. Ed, talk to us about that sales to F&I to service handoff and how that affects customer satisfaction.
Well, like Kristin said, we're two different departments, and it seems like internally that it's natural for there to be some separation. But to our customers, we're one business, and we should operate as one business, even though we have different hours and those things. And so when they buy a product from us, they don't expect somebody else inside of our business to ask them what products did they buy. They expect us to know what they bought. And really our job is to build value in it, because as soon as we ask them, well, what'd you get? Now we've kind of devalued that. And as we are in the repeat and referral business, it questions them the next time when they buy their next vehicle, do I need to buy that same product or not? So we all have to be on the same page. It's communication, 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 so that we can see what they bought and build value in it going forward.
Mickey, Vanguard Dealer Services, you oversee and work with thousands of dealers, and you saw this early on quite a long time ago. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, I agree with everything that everyone said there, but 33 years ago when I was turning F&I in a Hyundai dealership in White Plains, New York, the number one complaint that we had was time, how long it took the customer to get the car, right? And 32 years later, when I walk into our dealerships, the number one thing and the number one complaint I hear about is time. So I think there are two pieces to your first question, you know, the relationship between sales and F&I. I think that you have to get the showroom to rally around the expectation of time for the consumer. And if we can get everyone to agree that, hey, our process is to get Joe Public in here and out of here as quickly as possible so that, one, we can move on to other customers, and two, they can go out into the marketplace and tell their friends and their people that they work with the experience that they had, and they were told that they would be there for 90 minutes, and in 90 minutes they were driving their car up. That's the rallying point, I think, the expectation of time for the consumer. And I think that the business managers, I don't like to use the word F&I, the business managers and the sales department need a rally around that. Now, when it comes to service and F&I, I am a firm believer that the F&I department is where the service department succeeds, service and parts. And I think that service and parts managers should be involved in the selection of products that the F&I department get to sell. Like, for instance, I will tell you, we have a dealership in Paramus, New Jersey. On any given January day with potholes, they're replacing 70 and 80 tires. They're doing that through tire and wheel programs that we set up in the F&I department. Those customers are coming back with zero deductible, rental car available to them, coming back and getting their car that they just popped a $7,800 rim on. It looks beautifully brand new, and they're giving it back to, and they associate the F&I department or the business office and the service department as one. And what it also accomplishes for you is that those service managers who for years have looked at those F&I guys as they've got a gun in their back pocket, or they're out to screw the customer, they're out to do this, or they're out to do that. They're now providing that service department with products and services that are seeing parts and labor charges come in revenue in the service department. So it ties it all together. In the showroom, rally around the expectation of time for the consumer, and make sure if you tell them 2 hours, it's not 3 or 4. That's a breakdown. And then in the F&I department, F&I by committee. What are we selling? How's the consumer going to react to it? And if someone shows up here and I've got to replace a part for them and I have to ask them for a $500 deductible, well, we didn't really do a very good job in F&I of setting up our products. So those are the things that I would say it's a two-parter.
Mickey, yeah, I love it.
Ted, just to jump in on what Mickey was saying, we have one dealership, and if someone calls to schedule an oil change, they say, oh, by the way, while you're getting your oil change, do you need any of your wheels fixed or dings and dents or anything? And they are taking care of the full customer when they're there, utilizing both the finance products and the service department. And that is a symbiotic relationship of someone that's really tying the bonds between the fixed and the variable departments, making the customer really feel taken care of.
Listen, at the end of the day, the battle in the automobile space today is for the consumer. The manufacturer have, as you guys know, have tried to make every one of their dealerships look exactly the same. So the consumer believes they're a Chevrolet customer, not a Bob Smith Chevrolet customer. And that's what I continually talk to dealers about is you own that customer. And if a customer comes into your dealership and you set the expectation of time and it's fulfilled, and then they go into your business office and you sell them products and services so that during the course of ownership, they have a reason to come back to your dealership, one, to generate revenue for you off those products, right? It's not just about PVR. We sell products, so hopefully the customer comes back and needs new tires, new wheels, new keys, whatever the case may be. Now we have parts and service involved in it. And again, if that consumer buys the car, picks it up in the 2 hours they were told, has a 3-year lease or a 5-year ownership, and every experience they have back at that dealership is a pleasurable experience, what are the percentages you think of that consumer buying another car from that dealership? Not the Chevrolet dealership that's 3 miles down the road, the Chevrolet or the Hyundai dealership that they bought that car for. And I will tell you that the battle for the consumer is the manufacturer have got billions and billions of dollars to try and win them. The car dealers, the last few years, have made a lot of money, but at the same token, the cost of a customer is becoming more and more and more. And when you have them, you have to work diligently and very, very hard to make sure that you retain them. And if you have people or bad actors in your organization who are costing you customers, they have to go immediately. There's no retraining those people.
I love this panel already. Tully, everyone is referring in some way or another to the fact that there is in many dealerships some friction between sales and service. What are some ideas that you've got, some best practices, things that you may do, things that you've seen, things that you may even want to deploy there at Nilo?
So I think the biggest thing is the culture of the store must realize that we're one store. Is like Mickey says, it's all about the customer, the consumer, right? That is the key issue. Two is that because at the Nilo company, the variable director and the fixed director share an office and we do things together. So when we have forecast meetings, when we have statement meetings, when we have love meetings on the stores, we both go together. We both are involved in the variable side and we're both involved in the service side. As we had some service writer training yesterday, guess what happened? Dennis comes in and we have all fun together, right? We sit there and jab each other, but it shows the stores and the group that we are one together. The barrier must be down. And if there is a barrier, if it's on my side, I say, this is the way it is, my friend. And as Dennis does, if he has a sales side person that doesn't get the issue that sales and service is a must. F&I ensures that we have repeat referral business at our store. As Mickey says, everybody looks the same, right? As we sell great products that the service department supports, the worst thing you can ever do is Dennis has a product that we don't like, because what happens when the customer comes in? Oh, you got that product. No, we have to say, you have that product. That is fantastic. And we know what to do to make sure we take care of the customer. Key issue.
Dennis, coming over to you.
No, and I think, Mickey, Kristin bring up a lot of great points. And, and I really think it starts obviously through training. I think it's a great idea. Anything up from sales to finance, you got to have your compensation plans have to have key points of alignment. So people, you got to appeal to, everybody has a selfish side. And if we're not appealing to that for our employees on some level, it really does translate over to the customer experience. Making sure sales has a small piece in F&I, F&I's invested in making sure the car gets over the curb. And then, Mickey, you brought up making sure we're doing F&I product selection by committee. Because as Tully said, if they come in and the service advisor's like, oh, dude, I got to call that company, it just bleeds over to the customer, and the customer's like, huh. And then the next time in 3 years, 1 year, whatever it is, they go into the F&I manager or business manager. They're like, no, dude, I had that. I'm not doing it again. I don't want a bad experience. I'm not wasting the money. And then that customer's soured for the rest of their life. So, it's really key. And I really loved what Kristin keyed in on. And, when people are calling in for an oil change, to hear that service advisors are calling in and saying, hey, do you got any door dings? Do you need any tires? Do you need any wheels fixed? And yeah, my guess is, I just learned how to spell RO yesterday. I'm sure there's not a lot of money in it for our friends in the fixed department, but layering on that service so they see, yeah, I did get value out of that product. Oh man, my experience back there was great. I do want to use it. And you really can't do that effectively if you're not properly getting great F&I products that are underwritten in a way so you can give great coverage while still hitting all the profitability metrics that go along with reinsurance and so forth. So pay a little bit more to get a great customer experience, and it'll pay you back tenfold down the road.
Kristin, this is very forward-looking and forward-thinking. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the first thing is people can feel, first of all, Tully and Dennis, what they have created is amazing. Of every store I've ever worked at, you are the only store I know of that have that shared office, and that I think that is an amazing start. And I think just getting to know each other, because customers can feel if we're genuine or not. So if I'm a finance manager, I don't need to know the name of every single tech and every service advisor, but I need to have one service advisor I'm going to, or one service manager. I think we need to start by connecting people. Sale or service advisors have their meetings at 6 a.m. Guess what finance managers are doing at 6 a.m.? They're asleep, right? So it starts with creating.
Or just coming home.
They're just coming home, right? So maybe we create within the store little teams of each other that have a tech, a finance manager, a service manager, a salesperson, just so they have one point of contact. So when you hand a customer off or you do a service walk as a salesperson, they're going to tell it, hey, this is Susie in service. She's been here for 30 years. She's going to take amazing care of you. When you come in, look for her. The customers are going to feel that genuine connection, that there's trust between that. And then we do have that common bond, and we feel like one store versus two stores where you don't know who's downstairs, you don't know who's out there. So I think the employees getting to know each other is crucial, which starts with the leadership, just like Tully and Dennis are doing. I think it's fantastic.
I want to switch it up a little bit, Ed. Mickey honed in earlier on the time it takes for a transaction. And you know what? He's right. That hasn't changed in many, many years. And despite our best efforts, it takes a long time in most cases to sell and deliver a car. Ed, with all the things we're discussing here on the importance of that sales to F&I to service handoff, where does it happen? Where does that introduction, when does that start, Ed? You know, when do we begin talking about that to make it one store?
Well, I'm taking notes myself here because Kristin threw out some stuff there with building value along the ownership experience. And that's what it's all about, to create repeat and referral business. But what Mickey said, time, that's the most important element that our customers have. And the last thing they want to do is keep restarting over. And I like having one person carried all the way through, but even if you don't, we can position them. We can all talk different things and whatever, we position them to where it becomes efficient in the F&I office. And for that to happen, we all win together and we all learn together. And if we win together, then we're all talking about those things so that they're not starting over when they go and sit in front of the business manager. They're going in there and they're hearing some of the same stuff they've already heard and the foundation's already laid. And then when they come through service, then it's our opportunity to build value in those products, because that helps the customer buy rather than us selling them.
Mickey, coming back to you again on that time it takes typically to sell and deliver a car. You know, when does this process start? You know, like I said, you serve a lot of dealers there at Vanguard Dealer Services.
Personally, for me, I think it begins when the consumer says, yes, I want the car. And then we start explaining to them about how the process is going to, it could take 20 minutes, could take 2 hours, but we need to be transparent and let them know that. I still think that there is still a tremendous amount of training needed at dealerships. You know, when I was learning to sell cars or F&I was in training classes where you heard buyers are liars, right? You can't trust the consumer. You can't do this. And today I see it on a daily basis. I see it no matter what it is I purchase. I already know what I want. I want to know what I want to pay for it. I want to know what color it's going to be. I have all that done. All I'm looking for is someone I can trust for the transaction. And I think that dealerships need to start thinking about that and bringing in different types of trainers, not your traditional car salesperson, but talk about the philosophy and the psychology behind how a consumer sitting in front of you does not want to see you interact with another consumer, another customer while you're dealing with them, right? If I'm sitting at my desk selling a car and a salesperson's walking out the door and he goes, hey, Mick, do you want coffee? Yeah, get me coffee. Get me a bagel with cream cheese on it. And while I have a consumer sitting in front of me about to spend $70, $80, $90, $50,000, I just think we have to retrain the staff to understand that, hey, the person in front of you knows what they want. They know how much they should have to pay for it. Be transparent, be honest, and the most thing, have empathy for what they're trying to get. Because if you show them that you really care about what they're trying to accomplish, they're going to buy a car from you. They're going to buy multiple cars from you. They're going to give you great surveys as long as you make them, in that time that you're with them. A lot of people don't like this, but I call it the Bill Clinton effect. People will tell you that many people have met Bill Clinton. They hated him before they met him. They hated him after they met him. But while they were with him, he swept them off their feet, because as far as he was concerned, there was no one else in the room. And I think that's what we have to talk to our salespeople and our business managers about that consumer, understanding that their time is so important to them more than anything else. We need to be trained to have empathy for that. And how do we work on making sure we speed those processes up? And I truly think, you know, We have a sales trainer here at Spectrum Automotive that works for us at Vanguard, and we constantly are looking for psychologies. We're not looking for the old methods. We're looking to know, hey, if a consumer shows up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock and this is the reason they're there for that. They have figured out, they went on the internet and they found out if I show up at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday when there's no one in the showroom, I'm most likely to get the best deal. Well, our salespeople should be prepared for that, and they should know that. And they should, hey, someone's in here to get the best deal they possibly can. Let me give it to them so they can get what they want, and I can move on to the next customer. All in
Ed, let me come back to you. Mickey's right in that, the expectation of the consumer outside the traditional retail car business, Ed, is a lot different. Somebody that I know recently bought a retail product with their wife, okay, from a Ford dealership, and then they bought a Tesla, okay, within the same week. And the process at that particular Ford dealership took 5 or 6 hours. And they bought the Tesla, Ed, and did the whole transaction they had to get the car. It took some time to locate it, and they had to take a drive to go get it. But the entire transaction with the Tesla, Ed, took about an hour. I think an hour would be on the high side, Ed.
We're stuck in time at dealers. I've stated for years that we're 30 years behind in the car business. And here at Bozar, we're not quite 30 years behind, but we're still behind as well. And we force customers to go through our process rather than how they want to buy things. And customers don't need to come out here and kick tires and sit at a table and haggle and whatever else. Mickey talked about the best deal. The best deal to a customer in today's time is really the most efficient deal. There was not a haggling point with that Tesla. There was not a haggling point on anything else. It was click if you want it, don't decline it if you don't. And that was for the vehicle and for any products thereafter. And that's where we have to get in our business as well, and then deliver it to them. So the industry has some catching up to do. And these ones that are coming into the ball game to play with us with Tesla and Lucid and Rivian that don't have all that legacy stuff behind them, they can come in with a clean sheet of paper and get rolling that much faster.
Tully, you talk about the repeat, and Dennis, you talk about the repeat and referral. But when you two gentlemen talk, I can't. If I close my eyes, I really don't know who's talking, right? But Tully, let me come over to you if I could, real first. That repeat and referral business. When does that start, in your perspective? When do they start to form that relationship? And again, ultimately, that transfer over to service.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, and Dennis is going to start laughing at me, but it starts with the very first car sold. And then after that, service retains that customer for life. And he does that.
Is this being recorded?
So the issue is that if you have that mentality, right? Every service writer needs to know that every customer is important. If your line of cars out to the street, it doesn't mean that I have so many customers I can blow that customer out. Every customer needs to be, I need that customer. And it has to be in the mentality. It starts with CSI. CSI starts for what? Customer supplies income. Are we keeping people happy? F&I Products helps those people want to come back to the dealer so they can get that product. But you must have the mentality that every customer is a need. Every referral is a need. Every family member is a need. And that's how you grow the store. I think Mickey said it great. OEMs are trying to get customers. No, the Nilos need customers here in Sacramento. That's what we need, and we need to win every one of them.
Dennis, over to you.
No, I couldn't agree more. And, I love that Mickey's talking about, different types of training, not the standard issue stuff, the word tracks. And, those things always have their place in our business. But, the psychology. And I think if you boil it down, it's real simple. We always got to be talking to our people about having a great attitude. People want to do business with people that they like. People don't care until they know how much you care. So it's incredibly important that we're impressing that upon our people. My dad grew up in the automotive industry. He started in Bob Wondry's Ford way back in the early 70s, late 60s. Probably one of the best belly-to-belly salesperson I ever met. He trained me when I broke into the business. And one thing that always stuck with me is love the one you're with. Like Mickey's example of hollering at your buddy for a cup of coffee and a bagel. People don't want that. They want you to be mindful of their time. They came to buy a car. They came to do business. And you just got to shower them with attention, with a great attitude. And when you do that at a high level, all the negotiation, all the haggling, people feel good about the experience. They're like, you know what? Mickey's a great guy. I want to do business with him. Tully back in service, who Mickey introduced me to, Sounds awesome. I'm going to have a great experience here. Let's wrap it up and get it going. We got to stay focused on the human beings, and not just internally at the dealership, but the human being that's, as Tully says, customer supplies income. Treat them like it.
And Kristin, I've heard that before. We're in the car business, but we're really in the people business. And I know over at Vanguard, you get it, and you get that this is a people business.
Yeah, I mean, the people are the most important thing. And I think we lose sight of that so often, is that, especially in the last couple of years with COVID, I think it changed and people became more order takers than salespeople. And we need to treat that customer with kindness from beginning to end. I always like to train that the most important product we can sell is a vehicle service contract. If I sell a tint, does it mean that the customer is ever going to come back to Tully's service drive? Maybe, maybe not. But if I sell a service contract, they're 2/3 more likely to come back and do their service work there, do their oil changes there. Guess what? The time comes and they're doing their 30,000 mile service or their 80,000 mile service. And then the salesperson comes in and says, oh, Bob, while you're here to get that done, do you want to come take a test drive of the new car? Oh, no. Well, okay, I'm going to be sitting here. Might as well. Guess what? Then we sell another car. We get a great trade-in that's had all of its work done. They continue to feed the cycle. The service contract is the gift that keeps on giving. It's good for the service department. It's good for the finance manager. It's good for the customer. It's good for the dealer. It is a win-win-win all around. It is the most important product we're going to sell to connect that customer for the life of the customer, not from the day we get them till the day. Hopefully we sell multiple generations of a family. That is really, really important. And it starts with that service contract.
Everybody, last question for today. I don't have any particular order to do this, so whoever would like to take it, and this will kind of bring it home for everybody. 2 questions, I'll put them together. What does and how much does a satisfied customer earn the dealership? And what does an unsatisfied customer cost a dealership? If anyone would like to take that.
So I think we actually did this, Kristin, didn't we? Didn't we look at these numbers? And
yep.
a happy customer over the course of a lifetime is good for about just a little north of $200,000 in revenue to a dealership. But where an unhappy customer could cost you north of $500,000 due to social media and everything else. I mean, 20 years ago, if a customer come in and was really unsatisfied with their transaction, all they could do was word of mouth. Today, by the time they walk out the door, they've hit 2,000 people on their phone, and those 2,000 people have forwarded to another 2,000. So by the time that consumer turns the key in the car, 10,000 people are aware that they had an awful transaction. I want to go back to the question before about should we maintain a relationship with the consumer. Okay. So I got my bell rung personally this year. I took a course with a business professional and took a test. And the one thing that jumped off the page was that, which was a surprise to me, was that I had little empathy. And I thought to myself, that's unfair. I love dogs. I raised 2 kids. I've been married for 30 years to the same woman. I have to have empathy. And then when I looked at it, I realized that when I looked at certain situations, I looked at the situation about how I would handle it or how I would do it, putting myself there instead of putting myself in that person's shoes, right? And trying to understand what they're going through. And it's the same for the consumer coming through the door. That man or that couple that's in there looking for the minivan or the SUV, some of them $25 a month is a difference. That's the $25 they give their kids to go out on the weekend, one weekend a month with their friends. And now they have to think about, oh, well, little Johnny can't go out with his friends because our car payment's now $25 or $50 more. We have to have empathy. And if we have empathy, and the consumer, and not just the consumer, but the people that we spend our days around, our husbands, our wives, our children, our friends, if they understand that we have empathy, things go much easier for us, and it goes much easier for our relationships. And I will tell you that I have clients that I signed 21, 22 years ago. And when I set them out for dinner with them, and I'll say to them, hey, Bill, all these years later, you're still with me. You'll say, Mick, because you understand me. You get me, and you know how I think, and I don't have to worry about training you about what's important to me. And once we understand what anyone in our lives is important to, our conversations about consumers If we can show the consumer that we have empathy, we understand where you're coming from, and we're going to create a process where you can be completely satisfied and go home satisfied, I think we'll be very successful. And to be quite honest with you, I've probably read 12 books since I was told that I had no empathy to try and learn what empathy is, and I'm getting it. And I will tell you, the more I put it into practice, the better things are for me, that's for sure. I have two adult children that I love dearly, and when I show them empathy as opposed to my anger, I get a lot more from them than I would if I was yelling and screaming about something. Let me put it that way.
I love this panel. Everybody, we're about out of time, but what I would like to do, because I think this panel is so strong and the topic is so relevant, I'd like to bring everybody, invite you all back at the next Fixed Ops Roundtable. Let's pick it up and let's go to the next level, if that's okay. I want to thank very much the panel today, Tully Williams and Dennis Gingrich from the Nilo Company, Kristin Jones from Vanguard Dealer Services. Fantastic information. I love it. Thank you so much. Ed Roberts, again, thank you so much for all you do for our industry at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Mickey Quinn at Vanguard Dealer Services. Mickey, I know our audience can reach out for more information. A lot of our viewers watch, and they are clients of Vanguard Dealer Services. Will Vanguard be at NADA later this week?
We'll be at NADA, and I want to tell you that Vanguard Dealer Services is truly a great American success story. 3 entrepreneurs bought a business in 1999 that was failing, and today that business has grown to employ 675 people. We have customers in every single state in the union, and we have a sales force of 153 people, boots on the ground every day. The one thing that we know better than anyone else is that the war is for the consumer. The end user of our products and our services is the most important person in the game, and that's how we approach every business, every car dealership. We let them know that we're there to work for the dealer principal, for the person whose name is on the building, not the manufacturer.
I love it. Vanguard Dealer Services gets it. Everybody visit them online, vanguarddealerservices.com. Mickey Quinn, thank you so much for hosting the panel.
And I'm going to have a hat the next time, and I may even take a horse in here. If we can get a horse into this conference room, I may sit up on it with a 6-gun and a hat.
Well, hang on. The next event in May, Tully, do you want to tell Mickey the theme?
It better not be bikini.
It's the 80s.
Oh, the 80s.
It's an 80s theme. Yeah, so we're going back to the 80s. So
I still have some suits from the 80s when I was selling Hyundai. They look good.
Going back in time.
All right. I love it. Everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so
Everybody,
much.
Vanguard Dealer Services here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you very much.
Partners, I reckon it's time to place your votes for the Best Practice Awards. Take a moment now to scan the QR code on your screen to vote for the Best Practice Awards that will be announced at the end of day 4. Remember, every vote counts, so make sure to vote for the 5 speakers or panelists whom you think are the best and brightest speakers on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And don't forget, you can only vote once.